Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Tied up, smacks it to right center field. Martinez on the run, not gonna get there. Extra bases for Smith. Tie game in Cleveland. A 2-out RBI double from Will Smith. Pokes one over first, a little dunk shot of a base hit. Big Christmas throws home, cut off. Dodgers have taken the lead. Playing a high fly ball that's deep to right. Backing up Frelick and kiss that one goodbye. Up into the second deck. Bray launching number 13, and he has tied the ball game 4-4. Red Sox with his second home run today.
But once he got hurt, that opened up for Jalen Williams. That helped give him more space. Another steal.
Wallace gets inside, lays it up, and Minnesota has no answers. Gildas Alexander left-handed, lays it up and in. Jones setting things up top. Now Ekblad. Ekblad shoots, score! Deflection in front on the power play. The Panthers. Marchand in front, score! Lundell! Third goal of the period for Florida. They take a 3-2 lead.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right.
I don't like the way I sound, but
I don't either. Me, not you.
no,
It doesn't sound right in my
Yeah, probably the same thing. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on here.
Shane, is that on you, Hulaberry? Shane Hulaberry?
I don't
Shane
know.
got out here smelling like bowls of cereal this morning.
He really does. It smells like Fruity Pebbles every time we walk into the building.
Apparently, that's Hulaberry.
You know, I didn't know Fruity Pebbles were. I didn't know Hula berries were part of the rainbow.
Isn't
colors
that
they
the
got going
exact?
on there.
Isn't that the real name? Liquid
Watermelon hula berry.
watermelon Hulaberry.
Yes.
Yeah, it smells a whole lot of Hulaberry. I don't know what a Hulaberry is.
I don't know.
but
I'm Googling it right now.
Hulaberry.
It looks like a albino strawberry.
Oh, there's a grocery store around town that has those.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
The
But
grocery
they just
store or
call
the hula
them-
berries.
They just call them albino strawberries or something.
Yeah, they look a little goofy to
They're
me.
good.
Are they?
Yeah, and it's a place I would not pick to frequent, but it's more bougie folks stroll on in there,
Oh, okay.
grab some goods. But yeah, those strawberries, they look like they would be suspect,
They do, yeah.
but they are delicious.
I
like strawberries, and they're hard to. I mean, they're not hard to find. It's you just don't roll in and get a good bushel basket
I don't know. They come in the little like
container.
Yeah.
What do you call them?
bushels apples. I don't know if they come by the bushel. That seems
Yeah.
too big.
I don't know whatever they are. You just don't roll in and get good ones.
Yeah.
So you have to like search, and you always know when they go on sale because they're never on the shelves, right? Because everybody's like,
Yeah,
looked
going
at
through
'em
them to.
I
wouldn't
saw.
even
So
really
this
know what
is
I'm looking
probably,
for.
I don't know. This is right after my birthday, so like this is probably March.
Mhm.
I saw a lady at a grocery store swap grapes in a bag.
What do you mean?
Like take some grapes out of one bag and add them to another bag. So she must have liked
Oh,
some of the grapes.
Yeah.
And she put them in the other bag.
was it like a pre-bagged one, or she was doing it herself?
No, you know how they come in like little plastic
Yeah.
bags sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, because I know
They're
you
not
can
all they're not all create. Have you ever noticed why some have more in them than
Yeah,
not?
yeah. And
Yep.
she was like not having that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody finagled her bag before she got to, I don't know.
Listen, people, just quit finagling each other's bags. All right.
Yeah. Oh, you should see me with apples.
Yeah, you do the whole like you gotta get your field game right.
I offer to peel them for Zoe. I'm like, you're not eating this skin.
Oh yeah.
If 1 or 10 or 15 other people have done what I do to get a good apple, you're not eating the skin, Ryder.
Got to get like the antibacterial gel on there to wipe that thing off.
Is there such a thing for fruit?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that seems kind of weird.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but
It's just alcohol. It'll be
say,
fine.
hey, can I get that? Yeah, no problem.
Just
Peeling
peel that thing off.
Not eating that. I don't know, Todd. They get a lot of run, but I don't know if they're the best.
What's that?
A particular band of Servais.
Oh, Yeah, I don't know.
Like they're legit. I'm not gonna.
I don't have a preference in terms of brand of strawberries.
I definitely do. I mean, he's knocking on heaven's door. I mean, he's close. There's another little sneaky one that's pretty good. But I think they dye fruit because sometimes
Yeah.
some of these other strawberries and stuff you'll see, it's like there's a worn spot. It's like when you put sauce on meat and you pick it up with your fingers and all of a sudden there's a spot missing. That's how it looks sometimes with what?
This is a funny analogy.
I mean, but you're
Yeah, I know
vibing.
what you're talking about. Yeah. It's just that's not what I would have thought of.
Yeah, well, you're not creative like me.
It's true. Does it have to do if they're organic or not? Because sometimes the organic ones are
maybe.
different colors.
I
than
don't know,
the
right? So
GMO ones.
yeah, and I can't believe my GMO sunflower seed thing lost.
Yeah.
Sunflower seeds, I went through
Some people apparently like big sunflower seeds.
they're just, a lot of times, they're not good. I didn't finish a bag last night. I didn't leave it at the softball field, but I started to.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Just not any good.
Yeah, but I mean, full disclosure, I'd had it almost a week.
Yeah.
But it has a resealable. Like, are sunflower seeds really out? But you can get stale bags.
You can get
so
stale
yeah.
ones though.
Oh
yeah.
for sure, and they're horrible.
Yeah. If you get stale sunflower seeds, just don't even bother.
Yeah, it was grade A trash.
No, you don't want to do that.
But
I was out at the ballpark last night.
yeah,
Yeah.
I knew you were heading.
Went to
you
go
were heading.
see Caglione.
Yeah, how was that spectacle?
A little 3-for-4 action. Not
Yeah, it's
bad.
better than the over.
Yeah.
The other night.
I'm glad I caught a couple hits.
How was did you feel good? Like, I knew there was going to be like a rush to go, and I always want the Prez to be supported. I talked to him forever during state baseball out there, but was it like, ooh, I saw
I just was
Jack
excited to see
Caglione.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try and go whenever there's really big prospects that come through, or like if guys are down on a rehab assignment that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Woolner was down for Minnesota. He's on a rehab, and that dude hit a ball about 800 feet.
Hey, speaking of which, you got to be happy you got your call up, right, in Boston?
Yeah, I need one more. Waiting on one more.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to change, but
I mean, they've had their hand forced with Meyer a little bit because Bregman got hurt.
Yeah.
But like they need to call Roman Anthony up. They're playing really bad baseball right now. Just that's the only way to, because the fan base, I don't know if you know this, they're unraveling.
oh yeah,
Like
well, I
they're
mean, that's 5 in a row.
yeah, and they're playing bad ball. Like they're playing bad baseball. And this is a team that you're like, hey, we've got coming into the year, 3 of the top 10 prospects in baseball. You had the one come up to start the season in Christian Campbell. They're like, okay, that's cool. Marcelo Meyer, people wanted up immediately because Trevor Story's hitting like $130.
So his demise has been
I didn't want him when they went and got him
pretty quick.
because I was like, oh, so you're going to go get him the year before, you're going to not sign Bogarts?
Yeah.
Like, just keep Bogarts. What are we doing? Especially when you got Meyer coming up, you can put Meyer over at second. Anyway.
I did watch top 10 catches.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the deal was. And 2 of them are actually Red Sox. I thought you'd find that interesting.
I'd find it better if they came in wins.
Well, one did. It was 2015 Mookie Betts going over center field.
I thought this was like from this year.
Back in the day. No, just
No, it was back in the day when the Red Sox won games.
yeah.
Oh, that was nice. It was a good time. I missed that.
Again, just 5 in a row. I tried to give Schaefer free money yesterday, and he was not having it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, hey, look, crazy. Line went from 130 to minus 175 for the Dodgers. It's Kershaw. It was a bullpen day for the Indians or the Guardians.
Yeah.
And I texted him plenty of time. I said, hey, free couch seat money. It's a get out day for the Dodgers. They're trying to bolt. And it's the line isn't right.
Yeah.
He's like, he texts me back. He goes, oh, it's a bullpen day. I don't feel good about what you just said. I said, not going to matter.
I'm like, you know what, Mr. Schaefer?
And Guardians got up 1-0. I kind of chuckled. I laughed. I said, let the games begin. He and I exchanged pleasantries about our top 10 favorite athletes of all time.
Oh,
mine is very difficult. I have some locks, and then I had some guys that are like fighting their way in because I have an affinity for Kershaw. And I said, every time he throws, I feel like he's going to break. But I actually, and it was weird. It probably sounded dumb. I was like, but I like Kershaw. Like I care about his well-being.
Yeah.
And I think Shafe said something like that's weird. Or I was like, no, he's like my top 10 favorite players of all time. He said of just baseball or any sport. I said, actually, any sport.
Mhm.
And then we just like exchanged, and it was crazy.
That's how I feel about the athletes that I'm like devoted to. Like I care about their well-being. It's not just like, oh, I want you to be good.
And
It's
Shafe
weird.
was funny. He's like, he's won rings, he's won Cy Youngs. He clearly doesn't need the money. He said, he's like, I wonder why he says he just strikes him as a guy that
Kershaw
like loves baseball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got to. What does he need at this point, right?
Yeah.
Locke is a Hall of Famer.
He made fun of a couple of my faves.
Well, okay. So who were the locks besides Kershaw?
My locks?
Yeah.
My non-negotiables.
Yeah, the guys that are my Steph Currys. Who are those?
Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Sean Taylor.
Okay.
I just rattled them off right away to him.
Kershaw's in there, so that's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My top. Gosh, where are they? And then I had to go home and I put out a list. I have one in my drawer that I did from like 2011.
Yeah.
I'm like,
has it changed much?
A little. So you know who is N?
Who?
Kobe.
Oh yeah, you did grow late on Kobe.
Kobe's in. So my non-negotiables.
He got in post 2011 for you?
No.
Okay.
No. It's just I just was when I made that list, he wasn't
Gotcha.
a guy that I would have thought of. So
Kobe's in now.
Sean Taylor, Jack Lambert, Roger Craig, Vince Carter, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan.
Those are your non-negotiables?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised one of the Miami running backs didn't make it in there.
So, you know,
because you love Clint Portis and Edgerrin James.
So Edge is my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah.
But do you know who else is in the negotiables?
Who?
Troy Polamalu.
That makes sense.
Kobe. Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, Fernando Valenzuela, Deion Sanders, and Ken Griffey.
Ooh, I did love Griffey. Mine, so I sort of have different categories.
Well, here's the thing. There's only a couple. There's 2 guys on here, 3, that don't have anything to ever do with teams that I liked.
Deion
is you know my fave.
Griffey.
He's 2, but he's not my fave.
Your fave of Sean Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys that just had because Griffey didn't play for any teams you care about. Do I have a few of
Even
those?
Charles Woodson, I like Michigan.
Yeah. I've always I don't hate Michigan. Growing up I sort of had an
Well, growing up I actually liked him.
Yeah. I liked Charles Woodson when he was playing at Michigan.
And I know you think it's because I can't see. But I had to figure out the difference between black and gold and maize and blue. And it's like, those aren't even really the colors that I would rock with. I was looking for like the dark yellows and the blacks because it was a Steelers thing.
Sure.
And no, as I got a little older, although.
I like the navy and yellow, like the maize and blue look.
Yeah. And I went through, again, it's embarrassing, but it's true. Caleb's middle name is after Braylon Edwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Not really anymore.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, I kind of wanted Braylon to be his first name.
Oh, okay.
And, of course, I didn't win that. But, yeah, he's Caleb Braylon.
That'd have been awkward with Warren coming up.
Yeah. Well, 05, like, Bray's not even a twinkle in anybody's eye.
Yeah, that's true. That kid was born in, 2015.
I think he's just getting ready to turn 16 too. He's a pup.
So he's like what, 09?
Good
Lord.
A pup. So he never had anything to do with teams that I cheer for.
So some of my non-negotiables.
Deion might have. He wasn't my first poster. My first poster was the triple threat.
Yeah.
With Rozier, Turner, and
Irving.
So
I'm trying to think of guys that are on teams that I don't care about at all. Larry Bird's one for me. That's a non-negotiable that I don't care about the Celtics at all.
You just have
I love Larry Bird. I just love the way he played basketball.
Yeah.
Another one. So a lot of mine are basketball. I'm growing up, basketball was just huge for me. But Maravich, I'm sort of weirdly obsessed with Pete Maravich.
Yeah, there's somebody in our chat that you guys were fawning together over Maravich.
Yeah. Another guy who the system has inflated his numbers. Not that it matters.
Dude, that was wild.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Is he making you mad?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what it is?
I'm just annoyed by it at this point.
It's his delivery.
It is, and it's different. Like when we talk in person, it comes off way different.
Yeah.
But over text, I'm just like, I don't even know why we're still having this conversation.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, the group text was attacking me over Jokic again.
I don't think it was Jokic specific as much as it was historical data and how numbers change over time.
Yeah, but Jokic is where it all jumped off on.
Yeah, but I think
it got into
that's the point
other
I think
stuff.
they were trying to make.
And my point is, okay, well, if we're not going to take errors into account, then Wilt Chamberlain's the best player of all time.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
That didn't get a ton of pushback. He asked me about do you have any individual sport guys on that list? You're a big tennis guy.
Yeah. So growing up, I'm less enamored with him now. Growing up, I loved Pete Sampras because we had the same birthday.
Yeah.
So when you're a kid, you like stupid stuff, and he was really good. And he was an American growing up. So I was a Pete Sampras over an Agassi guy. I know you were an Agassi guy.
Huge Agassi guy. My first fave was Board.
Late, it's like I just really appreciate the aesthetics of how Federer
I didn't really
played.
rock with any of the Americans except for Agassi.
Yeah.
I was a big Beyond Board guy.
I loved Roddick just because, again, American guy, had the Omaha connection, even though he moved when he was like 6 days old.
You know, the ladies, I was a big Gabriella Sabatini fan.
Sure, yeah.
Now, I did like Venus and Serena. Never really liked Venus.
See, I think I liked Venus a little more.
Always liked Serena.
Yeah, I tend to gravitate towards like the more elegant players. So like Federer's like right in my wheelhouse because everything he does is so smooth.
So like for the American tennis players, it'd obviously be the Williams and then Agassi.
Yeah.
I didn't get into the whole McEnroe Connors thing because I was a Board guy.
Yeah. So there's probably like Federer probably doesn't crack my
Two
top
boxers
10.
make my list.
Ali,
but they're not in my top 10. I was infamously out on Ali until I got older.
Okay.
Significantly older. I didn't start rocking with Ali until probably mid-30s.
Okay. Are you okay? I'm trying to remember. I know we've had some of these conversations. You're out on Roy Jones?
Out on Roy Jones.
Yep. Because that's like a sweet spot in your era.
Yeah.
Of when you would have been coming up watching.
I'm a big James Toney guy,
that's the one.
Which makes me out on
Roy Jones.
But he would not make.
You're not like a Sugar Shane Mosley guy.
Can't stand Shane Mosley.
B-Hop.
I'm a huge Bernard Hopkins guy.
Yep, I knew that one.
So there's two outside of Crawford.
I mean, yeah, Crawford's definitely on my list.
And he's the newest.
Yeah.
And I typically don't like people younger than me.
Yeah.
Like that much. But he brings some other things to the table other than just his
that
boxing,
you care about, yeah.
his boxing prowess.
I mean, him being like, if he wasn't from Omaha, like he's still an incredible boxer, right? But the fact that he's from here and represents us all the time, that means a lot to me.
Yeah, and he's just unwavering.
Yeah,
like he's just the same person.
So who are the other two boxers?
He doesn't fit. He doesn't really fit my personality, but I am captivated by how good he was.
Who?
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be out on Floyd.
Oh.
I will say Floyd, before the shoulder started to go, when he actually had some pop still, was fun to watch.
See, that doesn't really, but Floyd, I mean, statistically, like his knockouts and stoppages were better than he's given credit for. He just was an accumulation guy.
Yeah.
And, my guy BC, I like.
He had a little more pop earlier in his career, though. Like it was a little more.
I think I probably fell in love somewhere around when he beat Diego Corrales.
Okay.
He's just a kid. And I kind of like the whole turmoil with the family, like dad and
with
uncle.
Roger.
But in boxing, those stories are so common.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not cool.
Kind of just comes with it. Yeah.
It's like there's always something.
It's like, unless you've got a weird backstory, it doesn't even matter.
So.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't enamored with that.
So Corrales is involved with one of my favorite fights ever. I think it's Castillo 2.
Oh, where Corrales was on his way out with the eye swollen.
Yes, and they just go back and forth late in that fight. It's one of the most fascinating
I just tweeted that out probably 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. It was set to a Rocky theme.
Oh, dude, it's like it does look like a movie. Like it doesn't even look real.
Yeah, Castillo could punch and he had a good chin.
The last 3-ish rounds of that fight,
they were begging. They were gonna stop it twice.
Yeah,
and they were begging Corrales. They came over to the corner and told Chico,
call it.
Like, look, man, you got to give me something or this one's done.
Yeah.
And he knocked him out.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like that fight is unbelievable.
Uh,
One of my random favorites of all time.
I'm a huge Chico Corrales guy.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he motorcycle accident, wasn't it? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
rough. He had a super strange build for his weight class too, because he was so tall.
Yeah. 6'1", 130.
Like that's wild. He's looking like my guy
Kind of like Paul Williams or some of these guys.
He's looking like my guy Akshay Bhatia out there.
Yeah. Cheerios for belts. Did you enjoy? So were you enjoying Bob last night standing on his head for the Floridians?
Man, Bobrovsky was wild in that. So when they were doing the 6-on-4, so they had the power play and pulled the goalie, and they like there were some of those. I'm like, I don't know how they didn't go in, because it was you had the slap shots coming in from deep, and then you could see the puck just sort of like bouncing in front of the net, and he's just getting enough of it to push it out. It was wild.
So, Shane, did you see any of that? Carolina, it's like
I don't know how you don't put one of those in. It was unreal.
It just wasn't going. It just wasn't going.
It just wasn't there. It wasn't their series.
What wasn't going to be? Kind of like
how
awful. So that was the bad Minnesota that I talk about too.
Yeah, we saw it a couple times in the series
where it's like,
what's happening?
And how do you score?
Yeah, unless it's Ant getting downhill, it's pretty hard.
It's awful to watch.
They're gonna have to. I mean, if they want to get better, they're going to have to do something. Because the way their roster is currently constructed, there's nobody else on that team that you go, oh, that can be my consistent number 2. Because we've seen this with Julius Randle his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. The best case scenario for him is he's like your 3rd or 4th best player, so you don't have to have him. If you have him, it's great. But he needs to be sort of your like Draymond or Harrison Barnes is a really good example. Like your Harrison Barnes level scorer.
I like Harrison Barnes.
Like that is like the first run of the Warriors. Like that's the kind of the level you need Julius Randle to be, where he can pop off and give you 20, 25, but if he gives you 8, it doesn't kill you. Like I don't trust Julius Randle enough to be my 2, and that's what he is right now.
I'm disappointed because I think I don't like the automatic, nobody likes the NBA and this, that, and the other, because that's just not true.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough finals with OKC, and I would guess the Pacers.
Yeah, I'm going to assume. It's weird because I like some of the individuals a lot.
Yeah.
I like Chet a lot. Like that's a guy that I've sort of been on since really early in his college career. Yeah,
well, it's just interesting because we played against Chet. We watched Chet.
Yeah, because he's Minnesota, right?
Yeah, and I was that's where I
fell in love with Suggs.
Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
Because his trainer and their grassroots academy, Brian Sandifer, who was just here for the Adidas tournament, just kind of hit it off.
Mm-hmm.
And Suggs was young then. He was a sophomore.
Yeah, because he'd have been younger he's a year younger.
And I liked his football prowess, and so we would always go back and forth about football, basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And
because you had a kid at the same time going through the same thing.
And I was just like, we're at this stupid tournament. This dude should be in Indy, right? It was just we, and so I but I never liked Chet.
Really?
And I'm listen. It's probably why I'm not a basketball draft expert. I can't believe how he developed.
Really?
Because early on, I'm like, what are we talking about? Go back and look at some of the summer stuff from Chet. It was like he was just giving me baby giraffe vibes.
He still does a little. Like there's still moments, but he's gotten way stronger, you can tell.
And he's a lot more skilled.
Yeah, he is.
Like a lot more
I
skilled.
think that's the thing that always intrigued me is I felt like there was so it's weird analogy here, but like I felt the same way to a much different level that I did while I was watching Jackson McAndrew last year for Creighton, right? He was doing a lot of things that I go, oh, if he's 10 to 20% stronger, all of that works, right? I would see Chet, and I'm like, okay, I think the skill set's there. I think he's just not strong enough to actually execute it in a game. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, if he gets 10 to 20% stronger, that's all going to work now. And then obviously he's gotten a lot more stable. He still looks a little awkward just because that's what his body is. Yeah. But like that's a guy that I was sort of enamored by.
I hope people watch, but I don't know.
But I really like Chet, and I really like Tyrese.
Is Tyrese even the best Tyrese in the NBA?
Maxey?
I mean, he would
See
be
the other option?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I like Halliburton more than Maxey, but it's probably just an aesthetics thing for me. I like because Maxey can bully you a little bit,
Yeah.
and I kind of
He's electric.
I like a prettier game.
But-
Not the Maxey's, but like Halliburton's very.
It is. There is nothing pretty about Halliburton's
Oh, I
game.
think Halliburton's game is pretty.
It is extremely unorthodox.
It's unorthodox, but I still think it's pretty.
Huh.
I think it's very smooth. It's very skill based. He doesn't look like he's ever overpowering or out athleticing you.
Yeah.
Like it's very much is like, hey, I'm just really good at basketball. Watch this. And I always like those are the kinds of guys that I really like.
So
Outside of Jordan, who kind of did both, but
you didn't like hockey, did you?
not growing up really. I didn't watch a ton.
Because there are a couple of guys that I have an affinity for, but they are also teams I like Sakic and Forsberg. I've talked about them all the time because I used to really like the Avs because I was.
Were you like a Lemieux guy?
He's my favorite.
Okay, because that makes the most sense, right?
Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
He is my
Depends.
absolute favorite. And we even got into guys that went the other way, Shafe and I, guys that I used to love.
That you're kind of out on.
Yeah, and speaking of Penn, Yager was almost one of them.
Why? What happened with Yager that you wanted to be out?
He played for too many rivals after
sure.
you left the Pens.
Oh, you know who was that for me?
They all do.
Fudge.
You know who I love?
Hey, you think Boston is still rolling with Marchand?
Probably.
He's done enough for them.
Kind of like the Ray Bork thing where they're like, hey, thanks, and now please go win a title.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
Back in the day,
was Willie Mays on your list?
No. I would guess that's my dad's favorite player.
But you've got his like spiritual successor, Ken Griffey, on your list.
I bet my dad would roll with Jim Brown and Willie Mays.
Okay.
I was blaspheming the Shafe, and he was actually on my side.
On which one?
I said I'd take Adrian Peterson over Walter Payton.
Oh, I probably would.
Well, don't tell that. Does Adrian Peterson get on anybody's top 5 running back list?
He should. He's
incredible.
one of the best running backs of all time.
I think we forget about it.
And he was good for so long.
I think we forget about all day.
He wasn't.
I think we think Sahara parties and bankruptcy and disciplining kids with tree branches, but
you know what I think of?
All day was incredible.
I think of him selling a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull. He had like a T-Rex skull.
Oh,
he
he's
was
a
trying to
child.
Unload.
He's a child.
But no, I mean, we forget how long he did it, but he wasn't on a ton of good teams. I think we just kind of lose him.
I just was kind of going through. I don't even know how we got on this deal yesterday, but I was just going through backs where every time they touched it, you thought they could score.
And he's weird in that sense because most of those guys are boomer bust guys.
Yeah.
Right? Most of the guys on that list are like your Chris Johnsons, your Barry Sanders.
Shafe brought up Chris Johnson.
You know, like some of
That's
those
funny.
guys that are like, hey, he might go all the way or it's going to be a loss of 3.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of Barry, and I still think Barry's the greatest.
Yeah, no, I brought up Barry, and that's fine, but he's very boomer bust. Whereas, like, Adrian was, like, he was the perfect combination of, I'm going to get you your 4 yards, but that 4 might turn into 40 in a hurry.
He was so good.
Like, how many times does Adrian Peterson lose in yards?
He was so good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the perfect blend of, I will be your stable running back and also your home run threat.
And
that doesn't come in the same package almost ever.
He has so we were talking about, we got into like weird affinities. You know who one of his is?
Who?
Priest Holmes.
Really?
I'm like, really?
Oh, you want to know one of my most irrational ones? You probably know who it is. I bring him up a lot. Not as much anymore, but for a while. Way better in college than he was in the NFL. I always say he was ahead of his time. Played in college for a team I have an affinity for.
Oh, yeah, Peter Work.
Peter Work. Yeah. I love Peter Work.
Yeah. But that's not irrational because he was a Seminole.
Yeah. But like, no, it's irrational how much I love him.
Oh, yeah, but
like that dude was so good.
I'm like that with Roger Craig.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
for what his NFL career ended up being, you feel like your affinity for him is even though Craig was incredible and should be on.
I don't know.
First
he just was
guy
good
ever.
He just was good to me as a little itty bitty kid.
Yeah.
He's good friends with my. He's just a guy.
Sure. But there's like a personal side to that, right?
Yeah, he's just so good. Like, I didn't even care that he doesn't like – it's not that he doesn't like Nebraska. That he doesn't come back to Nebraska.
Yeah. Which most of the time that is kind of a
that
deal
would bug
breaker
that
for
would
you.
bug me.
Yeah.
That would definitely bug me.
Every year, every single
That
year.
would definitely bug me.
I go up to Servais and I go, hey, make Peter Warwick your legacy guy for the Jet Award. And he's like, I've been trying to get a hold of that guy for 5 years. And I go, hey.
I think Pete is kind of wild.
I was like, Servais, I need you to make it happen.
You know, he's super country.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of those Florida kids are.
Yeah, he's super country. He might be out wrestling gators or something.
Well, so I follow him on Instagram. He's out there. He seems like fairly put together, just a family guy.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I think I've told this story before. So for like a year or two after he left the NFL, he was playing in the same league as the Beef.
Yeah.
Over in Bloomington. And apparently my buddy was doing the play-by-play calls for the Beef at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So Bloomington never made it to here while he was playing for him, which I was very upset about. But Omaha went out to Bloomington a couple times. And apparently they had to have a talk with Peter Warwick because he just like wasn't cashing his game checks.
Yeah.
They were just like in his locker and he's like, guys, I played in the NFL for like a decade. These are like $400. I don't need these.
Yeah. How many guys were just rolling out of the Bradenton area?
Oh, a ton.
Because he's Bradenton, right?
Yeah, I believe he's Bradenton.
Yeah. Tyrone, those guys used to talk about like the stories of Peter Warwick because they were already gone.
Yeah, they were just ahead of him.
Yeah.
Right? Because so he would have been entering college right when they were leaving.
Yeah. They were already
there was
gone.
maybe like a 1 year gap. I think he was in 96.
To this day, though,
yeah.
I'm telling you, good. Tyrone Williams had the sickest highlight film of anybody.
To this
I've ever
day.
seen.
Yeah.
Oh, electric.
He would have been a Huddle legend.
Electric.
Yeah.
I don't know what they had going on in Manatee County and Bradenton, but that dude was silly.
So I read this random. I don't even know.
You talk about forgotten greats.
Yeah, Tyrone Williams.
He was incredible.
We played for the Packers for a long time, didn't he?
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Baron
Miles gets a lot, and I got nothing bad to say.
CFL legend Baron Miles.
He's just a consummate competitor.
Yeah. Well, especially for his like size, right? Like he
should have probably thrown the town of Schuyler a party for winning soccer himself with the wife. Yeah.
Yeah. Is she from there?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he's
there you go.
Man. DB. Hit up Sky. No.
Hey, come hit out Sky.
I don't. You do you. Love you though. That dude, yeah. But T. Will was again another really, really good competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I read this article in ESPN the magazine in like
I used to get that too.
I
man.
love that thing.
I wanted it for the
huge.
pictures. That's all.
Yeah, it was like twice the size.
I'm keeping 100. I wasn't reading.
Oh,
I liked the pictures.
yeah. I liked
I was too old. Like I don't know what I would have been reading in there. I just like the pictures.
There was an article in there about all these guys from Florida and why they're so fast. And they were trying to figure out, they're like, well, we think it's because they run through the sugarcane fields and all. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like they're like, yeah, they chase rabbits through the swamp and all this stuff. I'm like, what's happening here?
I still have my copy of the one with Rice and Brown on the cover.
Big Jerry Rice guy.
That big Raiders.
Shane here for Jerry Rice.
I'm probably more Steve Young than Jerry Rice. I do have an irrational love for Steve Young. Jerry Rice is great. I love Jerry
Niners.
Rice.
I rock with
Ronnie Lott.
Roger Craig and Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, USC guy, Ronnie Lott.
You can't go wrong with that.
Big Ronnie Lott guy.
Yeah.
My dad liked Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a few guys that he liked that I gravitated towards, but most everybody he liked, I went the other way.
So you kind of went the other way on him?
I hate Starbuck. I hate Landry.
Why do you like Starbuck?
Did your dad like Hank Aaron?
We never really talked about Aaron much. I don't know. We didn't talk about Aaron much.
Yeah.
No. So Bradshaw's one of those guys. He's a reason why I couldn't like. I do love Rathman. You're right, TK.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a very good guy, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Good person. There's guys I went the other way on, like Bradshaw, like Swan, couple boxers, where it's like, I used to love you.
And
now I'm like,
yeah.
That's
I'm trying to think if there's anybody I'm out on. My favorite baseball player of all time is Pedro Martinez. Love Pedro. But that makes sense, right? Red Sox guy. He's the reason I'm a Red Sox fan. Like that's my guy. But I'm trying to think if there's I don't know.
You ever love anybody that played for a team you hate?
That I actually hate? Probably not. I love Barry Bonds, but I don't hate the Giants. Like, I love Barry Bonds, but I don't have any reason to hate the Giants. Like, I don't love any. So probably I don't love any Yankees.
I certainly don't love any Blue Devils. I don't love any San Francisco Giants. I don't love any Cowboys.
I don't love any Gators or Hurricanes
I don't love any Celtics.
or Sooners.
Certainly don't like any Ravens.
I don't hate
maybe one.
Ed Reed.
Ed Reed.
Yeah, you love Ed Reed.
Yeah.
I don't.
But I give him the Miami ties.
I don't hate the Celtics, but I do love Larry Bird. But I don't hate them. Like, they're not I'm not a Lakers guy, so it doesn't. Really...
Is that minus a guy you like being traded to them, like Dion or like Sanders?
No, I've had some guys definitely test that. Rod Woodson, playing for the Ravens, was
pretty
and
tough.
and he was good there too.
Yeah.
So that bugged me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a big Woodson guy.
So the guy that I loved Jacoby Ellsbury, but like the minute he went to the Yankees, he was dead.
Did you come watch him play here?
Yeah.
He was sensational.
I watched him. They had kind of a run of
OSU?
well,
or
not
just in general.
just Red Sox guys that were coming through Omaha because they had Ellsbury, they had Jackie Bradley Jr., they had Benintendi.
You like JBJ on TV?
He's okay.
Yeah, I need some guts.
I'm trying
but there's 4 people. It's a lot.
I need more reps. I need like more reps from him to see if I actually like him or not. Because I don't think I'm getting enough to really.
I'm gonna have to watch that 75 years deal.
Judgment on it.
Oh, good. How did he know it? Does he know it?
Jack Campbell.
Why did you bring up Jack Campbell? Love Jack Campbell.
Really?
I wanted the Steelers to draft Jack Campbell.
John Frank says I always get Peter Warrick and Warrick Dunn mixed up.
I'm a big Warrick Dunn guy.
I love Warrick Dunn. Good dude too. Good person.
I like his style.
Yeah.
And I of course like the story.
Yeah, the story's incredible with his mom passing away and him raising his family or his sisters. And now he helps build homes for single moms and families that need it.
Oh, TK, I am right there with you on Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
He was so flipping good.
Yeah.
It used to piss me off and I loved it at the same time. He was a monster. And we went to like this, I don't know, it was like an invite top recruit thing and met his parents because his little brother was being recruited, who ended up saying yes to Iowa.
Yeah.
Another Campbell. Monster of a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, like a grown up. Like, what do you play? Tight end DN, of course. I mean, just he's 6'5".
Yeah.
I gotta check him out, see if he's balling for them. But huge Jack.
Big Jack Campbell guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. Random. That's a random one.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Draft him. I was like, draft. And people kept. So that year, was it severe? Somebody kept trying to tell me he wasn't a first rounder. And I'm like, first of all, I disagree. It might not have been Severe. Somebody.
Severe does have strong draft picks.
Yeah. And like, I always tease him because people like get his opinions and he's like, he's not very good. I'm like, okay. But listen, Campbell was one of those guys that I hated to. I loved watching him every time he wasn't playing against Nebraska.
Yeah.
He was, boy, he could run. I like watching for Detroit.
Yeah.
That's probably the closest
to a team that a team that played for
that I hate.
That you hate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't even know if there's another one.
Do you hate Detroit?
Iowa.
Oh, you don't hate Iowa.
Huh?
You don't hate Iowa.
Huh?
You don't hate Iowa. I'm not trying to put the you love Iowa thing on that some people do, but you don't hate Iowa.
It's pretty close.
You have too much of an affinity for some of the people there to hate Iowa.
I can separate the two.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
If anybody's good at that, it's me. Your boy is the king of eating the meat and spitting out the bones.
All right. I thought there's too much.
For real. I can manage relationships not liking 60% of somebody.
I'm aware.
That's what I do.
I think it's a little higher than that sometimes.
That's what I do.
Might be like a 20-80 split.
Yeah, so I just...
You're getting some bad ground beef with some of the people you hang out with.
Speaking of which, it's Knucklehead's birthday today.
Yeah.
And He wants steak.
Bring him out to the thing.
It's fine. It's like I'm like, oh, cool. It's in my wheelhouse. I don't have to really shop.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is kind of getting the lay of the land? I'll be there. Everybody wants a fillet. I'm like, I'm out of fillets. I want ribeyes or a tomahawk. Like, I don't have any fillets.
What are they even doing? Ribeyes and tomahawks are better.
Fudge.
What are we doing?
Spoiled ass kid. Sad. I put something on Twitter about it to his brother, so I suppose I have to tweet at him, and he's gonna say something slick.
Is that how you communicate with him now? That you need something from him? You got to tweet at him?
No, but I wish Mike a happy birthday on Twitter.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And he's a sneaky receipt keeper,
Micah?
Caleb. So he may not say that it bothers him if I didn't put something on Twitter, but I'll hear about it in like 3 years.
When something pops up.
Yeah.
Well, you wish Mike a happy birthday and I didn't get one.
Now you want to tweet at me. Yeah, whatever, bud. Enjoy your birthday.
That's DBM Ravi, Lulla, Hurrdat Sports Live. Coming up next.
That was awesome. And I think just that whole run from the bullpen down to the top of that dog pile, I was just kind of looking around the stadium and just looking up to the sky. And I think I was running with my hands out like this and just trying to take in all the feelings and all the emotions that kind of came and culminated at the end of that game, not only throughout that tournament, but just kind of throughout this season, and being able to win that one and, be able to play another day. I think that was just an amazing feeling, and I was trying to soak it all in. So that's a run that I'll remember for a while.
At Centros Federal Credit Union, we have the tools and resources to help our members fulfill their financial goals. With a focus on building a stronger community for the next generation of leaders. Centros Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a whirlwind to kind of take a step back and look at it, but I'm just focusing one day at a time. It was cool to see like Christian Moore last week, and we were both kind of in the same boat. So talking to him and just kind of piecing together this past year, it's been cool to see, especially be able to do it with some people from the draft class. So it's been great.
Your adjustment to AAA pitching looked pretty smooth in the first series. What if anything, did you see that was different from AA?
Definitely the pitcher's misses. They're going to be a lot more competitive. So you really just kind of need to keep that laser focus throughout every AB, pitch to pitch. AA guys' stuff, I would say, might play a little bit better just because younger guys coming up, they have live arms. But, these guys, most of the time you're facing somebody with showtime, so they know what they're doing. They know how to pitch very well, so I just keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, we were having those conversations, at points during the season. But we also knew if we could kind of just get through that, we weren't looking ahead that the schedule was getting easier, but it just was like, okay, like maybe we can catch our breath because we had the 2 home weekends at the end that helped. Certainly, no matter who you're playing, just being able to play at home for a larger stretch there at the end of the season was helpful. But yeah, I just think that's, when we're trying to be a top 16 seed, I've not shied away from that goal. It's incredibly difficult to do that, and you have to challenge yourself, I think, with a schedule in order to be in that situation. And who knows how the season would have played out if we hadn't had those injuries, but it's made us who we are, and we're a tougher team because of it.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you, make sure you've got that seatbelt fastened and make it click when you're on the roads this morning. Well, and all the time. It prevents injuries and saves lives. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We've got a caller. You can call 288-638-4876. Asian Wyatt would like to call it. That's not how you spell Asian, by the way, Shano, just as a heads up.
Acai.
No, that's an acai bowl. That's a different thing. Wyatt, what's going on, buddy?
I'm just being very flavorful, but so I had a couple players that played on teams that I hated that I liked.
Okay.
But before I get to that, first I want to say that I'm a day late on things, as you know, but I owe Coach Osborne an apology because a few years ago I went to the athletic department. I came out and said, "Hey, I'm Asian Wyatt," and he comes out. He's very upset. He goes, "Get that dadgum." Well, I thought he said, "Get that dadgum Asian out of here." Turned out, I guess he just said, "Get that dadgum agent out here." So
I forgot you were around for those days when I infamously was framed again. Yeah, I was framed. I was framed. Agent, Asian, killed. I was framed.
Yep.
I
put it out there. I'm not a secret Asian man. I'm an out there Asian man. So.
Oh, geez.
I'm proud of you for being out there, Asian Wyatt.
Yep. So, as to those players again, so as you know, I'm a Broncos fan, to Damon's chagrin.
Yeah.
But growing up, this one goes back to more just being youthful. So at that time, Bo Jackson was really, really good, and had he stayed healthy, my fandom might have gone a different way. But I really liked Bo Jackson when he played for the Raiders. But later on, once Kenny Walker and Mike Kroll went up to the Broncos, then I started following the Broncos, became a Broncos fan because
I remember you told me that story. It was Walker and Kroll, huh?
Yep. Those are the years that I thought that I became a Broncos fan, and the rest of the team just kind of grew on me.
How can
but later on,
that's amazing.
I really liked, also Nebraska related. I really liked Neil Smith, but he played for the Chiefs. So then I was, of course, especially thrilled when they came onto the Broncos, to a good team, and won a championship.
I'll give you a pass on Neil because of the Husker ties.
Yeah.
I give you a pass.
I appreciate that.
Well, I know you care. I do. I know you care. So what are you doing? So what do the girls do in the summer? Do they stay at home?
No, they still go to like a preschool daycare.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
so do you get to take them later?
No, it'll be the same time. They're actually switching because their current daycare is closing, so we had to find a new place.
Oh, are you traumatized? That is so stressful.
Oh, I'm a little upset about it because the way that happened was not. It wasn't. It shouldn't have gone down the way it did.
Oh,
and
might have to chat about that.
The parents are a little upset by it because of the timing and the institution in which this place should handle things better. We'll say it that way.
Gotcha. Now, what do we do?
So we're okay.
All right, buddy.
For Landon.
I'll check on you later. You got it.
I know you will.
I don't know how a Broncos fan could cheer for a Raider.
I was just going to say that call was a roller coaster of emotions for me. I mean, he tugged at all of my heartstrings. He talked about being a day late. I mean, that is right in my wheelhouse.
Sure.
Always on delay.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
then
people think that's a joke. I wish we could just can all the times you bag stuff that we have no idea why you're telling us now.
Yeah, well, and half the time I don't know what you're talking about because it's been so long since we brought it up that I no longer have the context necessary to understand what's happening.
I gotta ask: was Shane? Did he quit Marcus Allen?
Who, Shane?
Yeah,
Shane. Did you quit Marcus?
Did you
Allen?
quit Mark? He's on the phone.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I think he said he did. I don't know. Shane,
did you quit Marcus Allen or did you stay with him?
No, I stayed with Marcus. Okay. But at the time, the Chiefs sucked anyway.
So you didn't care.
So I didn't care, even though Montana got there and they had that slight little run,
little bump.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you'd been out.
I mean, I wasn't on a couple of my guys,
but at the time, he was my favorite player.
It was hard, and I only like Rod Woodson because he looks like my boy Zach Sangster.
Yeah.
And I was with Zach all the time, so I was like, man, I can't hate both of you.
I mean, Damon and Ellsbury were dead to me immediately.
Really?
Immediately. Dead to me. Yeah. I wasn't old enough to be a Red Sox fan when Clemens was there, so I don't have any context for that.
And it happens. I'm just talking about, rivals. It's the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I get it. Cubs fans went through it with, Jim Edmonds.
Yeah, Jimmy Edmonds was good.
Are you cheering for that guy?
I'm not a Cardinals fan or a Cubs fan, so I don't care.
He's Bo Jackson, huh? You know what's funny?
What's that?
I give you a hard time. I've never loved Bo at any point in my life.
Yeah.
Not even when I was a kid. I was like, I don't like his running style.
Well, he was a player though, and I don't know how old Wyatt is, but if you're at maybe a certain age to where you're just getting into it, he was probably the most popular player. I mean, you kind of just when you start getting into something, you kind of gravitate towards the most popular player.
And I'm so shallow. I just didn't like the way he looked.
Sure.
I was out on Herschel. I was out on Bo.
Too big?
They just didn't look. I'm like, no, you don't look good.
Look a little stiff sometimes.
Yeah, he's running over guys.
Yeah.
I think, listen, I think that's part of the reason why I don't like LeBron.
It's an aesthetic thing for me. He bullies people.
I just don't. And then he started talking, and then I was like, yeah, I definitely don't like you. But
if they're basketball players that bully guys, really don't fit my eye at all. Now I'm not saying it's whatever.
Maybe that's why I give a little blowback to Peyton.
LeBron's great, obviously, but it's never fit my eye.
Shane, I'm pretty sure Wyatt and I are close. He's
really.
I would guess.
I would have guessed he was closer to me.
No,
he put his age on.
I think he's 48, maybe.
He put his age on the deal there.
Did he? You can say it out loud, bud.
What is it?
46.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I would have guessed he was closer to my age, honestly.
Yeah, because we talk so much about other his role.
Yeah,
that's about right. Where he can
that makes sense.
Back. Yeah,
I was just guessing because the kids are pretty young, so I thought maybe he was a little younger.
Yeah,
because the girls are young.
Yeah,
so that was kind of go. And I mean,
good on him. Dude will be getting out of the house later than me.
Started late.
Shoot, listen, I'm counting down the years, man. 61. I'm out.
I mean, I know. Never mind. I don't know if I want to go there.
You probably do. Let's get to TK. How did we get on this? Shafe. I blame Mike J. Schaefer.
If we don't get to Big 12 quarterbacks today, Rico, this is Schaefer's fault. Let's get to TK. What's going on, bud?
Good morning, fellas. How we doing?
What up?
I'm, I hope you guys get the Big 12 quarterbacks because if you don't, their conference might not exist here in a little bit.
If we don't get it today, we'll definitely get it
TK,
tomorrow.
are you pumping the Big 12 hate? Because I don't hate on the Big 12 like everybody else.
Well, I just think Brett Yormark might be working his way out of a job by advocating for this only 5 auto qualifier thing. Because if you let the committee select people, they're going to select 8, all the rest of the teams, and then Notre Dame will be from Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
That's the
you
argument
sound like Ravi.
This is the argument I made yesterday.
You sound like Ravi.
I think the committee needs guardrails because I do not trust them. I don't trust them at all. And I don't trust ESPN not to.
I don't trust juries.
I don't.
And that's 12 dudes.
I don't trust ESPN not to influence it for their television product. Like I need guardrails on this thing to make sure we don't end up with 6 SEC teams or 8 SEC teams, 6 Big Ten teams in Notre Dame.
How confident are we that they all watch football? They spend
not as much as I'd like them to.
Watching tons of football.
I get it.
They probably don't watch as much as we would like them to for the job they have.
Yeah. Okay. Very quickly, because I know you guys hopefully we'll get to ranking.
Hey,
number 1.
You know good and well. This is the one place that's had a 51-minute segment. Do we act like we're in a hurry to you?
I don't know. I'm just hoping you guys. I'm trying to help you guys get through a third of the rundown.
Oh, that's never going to happen. I've had the same stuff on here for weeks.
Oh yeah, he's not kidding. He's really not kidding.
So, how as Nebraska fans do we feel about Richie Incognito?
I like Richie. I always have, but listen. I always felt like I had to apologize for our relationship because I don't even really need to get into this, but I don't. Like, he and I have had a really good relationship from the jump, and I'm not saying I give him a pass or any of that, but on some of the decision making, but I do understand it. I do understand. I think I do understand Richie. But anyway, go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah.
I said Wyatt,
I'm just going to assume that Wyatt and I don't look alike.
No.
That's fair.
That's a fair assumption.
You're also about 20 years apart in age.
Well, I mean, it might be the opposite way because I'm actually 67, somewhere deep inside my soul.
Oh, so that's your personality, not your biological age.
But I will say this, TK, you do look older than your age. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm sorry.
Say that again, sorry.
I said I will say you do look older than you are.
Well, I've had a beard since I was 12, so it's kind of been my MO.
I believe you too.
I know how that goes.
I definitely believe you. So what are the other players you don't like?
Or that you do like, that you don't like the teams?
I don't know why Shane keeps playing music. He acts like we have a guest coming up.
You know, I really like Chris Jones, and I hate the Chiefs.
Why do you like Chris Jones? Because he's great?
Because, he doesn't look, like he's not this, immaculate human being like a Aaron Donald, where he's just a muscle hamster.
Yeah.
He looks kind of sloppy, but he can move. He has good hand skills. He's the type of D lineman that I hated going against when I was playing. Hate it because you're like, this is the easy down block, and then you get thrown into eternity because his hands are faster than anything you've ever seen.
So, one of the funny things about Chris Jones is I like the fact that he's gotten better as his body type has changed because he was kind of the lighter, quicker rusher. Then he kind of grew. He looked a little frumpy. They moved him inside. Now that he's like fully grown and he can play anywhere along that D line.
Yeah.
He's sensational. That's all I know.
Oh, I also used to like Melvin Gordon, and then he ran for 428 yards.
Why?
And so I took.
Would you like Melvin Gordon?
Well, I liked him a lot before that game, and then after that game, every time that he got destroyed because the Chargers and the Broncos couldn't have a decent O-line, I just chuckled to myself.
So the endless jet sweeps as a freshman in the Big Ten championship game didn't sour you on him?
Wow, that's kind of tough.
No.
Hey, you just gonna let him slide that in on you, TK?
I'm just saying, that's kind of when I was starting to be out on Melvin Gordon. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this guy.
Well, he wasn't the only one taking those jet sweeps.
He had like 4 of them that went 60 apiece, though, I think.
Yeah, but wasn't Toon on that team too?
Well, Abadaris. I mean, we put a lot of guys. We put a lot of guys in their Hall of Fame.
I mean, James White, I think, was still on that team. They had another running back still on that team too.
Yeah. So before, he has ran pretty to me, but also I was like 12.
Yeah.
So like, take it with a grain of salt.
All right, buddy. Be safe.
Hey, we'll see you guys. Have a good day.
I have a picture with Melvin Gordon from Big Ten Media Days at the Fugitive Hotel.
Yeah.
So whatever year that was. And I was telling my then co-host, I couldn't believe how much he just wasn't very big.
Yeah.
But he was yoked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, that suit is struggling, but
Yeah.
you look like my size. That dude was cock diesel.
Melvin Gordon that year against Nebraska. 9 carries, 216 yards as a freshman.
I don't understand.
I don't know how he wasn't out at that point. That's probably what I called it. At 24 yards a carry, I'd probably be like, you know what? We're done here, Melvin.
That's good.
Benny Mack coming up next year. Talk a little Nebraska baseball.
We will be back. We will be back. Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Here we go. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Dice has the sign. He collects the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Casey Dice finishes it for Nebraska. The dog pile is on. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have run the table and run it back. Back-to-back Big Ten tournament champions. With the guardian angel watching over this team, Nebraska runs through the field here in Omaha and have earned themselves a regional bid. Nebraska knocks off their second-ranked opponent in as many days. The Cornhuskers shut out the 13th-ranked Bruins 5-0 after 8 masterful innings from Ty Horn.
Kicking off hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centros Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We are joined now by Ben McLaughlin, the play-by-play voice for your Nebraska Cornhuskers baseball team. What's up, Ben?
How we doing, fellas? Good morning.
B, where are you, buddy? That's all I need to know.
Well, I just hit it in the drink on 4, so I'm not real happy at the moment.
Oh, I'm glad you got a chance to golf. Good for you.
Yeah. This course it's stunning, man. It's to say it's out of our league is a little bit like looking at my wife. Like, what are we doing? So yeah, I don't belong here. That's clear. Although I did hit a birdie on hole 2, so that was a good open.
That's a good start.
The rest of the day could be wrecked, and I'd be happy.
Okay, so I don't know what you're gonna say, but I'm gonna ask you this. I kind of teased our listeners last week, and I was like, I don't know, man. He's a huge fan, but he does kind of ride with DB. Who knows what he's gonna say? I get it. It's Chapel Hill. It's Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's.
I'm in your land.
Okay, right. But if I said, hey, B-Mac, I'm looking for a quarter zip North Carolina gear or a hat, would Ben McLaughlin with the radio network get his buddy DB North Carolina gear?
I'll put it to you this way. I like you enough to where if I saw one, I would get you one, but I'm not going out of my way.
Listen.
I'm not going to the team store for you. But
I think
if
that's
I happen
fair.
to see one that I think looks nice, I would definitely grab one for you.
That's it. Listen,
I think that's fair.
I said, Ravi's asking me what you'd say, and I go, I could see him saying, bleep no, I'm not getting anything on Nebraska, or maybe because we're boys. Like neither one of those would have surprised me. Your answer was so Benny Mac, it's not even funny.
Well, good. I'm glad I didn't.
Isn't that crazy how he to a T
nailed it? I will say, so my concern, Ben, would be if I was working for Nebraska, I wouldn't want to be seen purchasing North Carolina gear. That would be my concern.
And he's even deeper. He's just go the principle of the matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like I would do it for you as a friend, but like I would not wear any of the Nebraska gear. I'd try and make sure I was pretty incognito about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. Don't get me wrong. Like as I would be tapping my credit card to purchase, I would be thinking about how I could cash this favor in later. But I would do it for DB. I would do it.
Oh, I'd Venmo you. I got you.
That's a favor you want to store up for later.
Hey, so is that not a beautiful part of the country?
Man, I'll tell you what. I've been a lot of places. Weirdly enough, North Carolina has been one of the very, very few states I've never been to. But it is absolutely gorgeous. And the spot that we're staying, I mean, we're an hour and a half from Raleigh. We're an hour and a half from Pinehurst. We're 20 minutes to Cameron Indoor. We're 15 minutes to the Dean Smith Center. You know, you're 3 hours to the beach or 3 hours to the mountains. Like it's a phenomenal place. And I've taken a liking to it rather quickly. Now, if the results don't go my way the next few days, as Damon, you know, that will certainly change my opinion. But as we sit here on Thursday morning, I like it.
Isn't it crazy too? It's like I remember when I was in Charlotte and we shot up there when during training camp, just because obviously I wanted to see the campus at North Carolina, and it's the one place other than Omaha. It's so green and plush. I would tell people it's just like a bigger Omaha. It's green. It's thick. I don't know, man. It's just a pretty place.
It is. The trees, I mean, the trees are just gorgeous. The landscaping really everywhere that we've been. Now, I've been in the state for all of 12 minutes, so I'm not going to act like I know, from border to border. But the place that we've been, everything is super well manicured. A lot of pride in the landscaping and just, the natural layout of the geography and topography. How about that? You guys got a topography reference before 9 a.m.
I'm still laughing at the 12-minute thing. Like, that's the first place you went?
I don't know. I guess. It's postseason time, Damon. At this point, I always say at least once a weekend, it's borderline irresponsible to put a microphone in front of my face, but they continue to do it.
Hey, you and me both, brother.
Hey, you wear it well, B. You wear it well. Wow.
I'm starting to think that it's not either of all our faults, Ben. I think it's just working with Damon.
Yeah, well, I don't even have the Damon crutch for baseball. So, I feel like it's a bit of a stretch, but sure, let's go with that. If I have an out, I'm going to take it.
Wow. So Ben, let's get to a little baseball here. When you saw the regional come out and as you're doing your prep work and stuff for the games, how is it striking you how Nebraska matches up with this field?
Well, it's a little strange and different that
the strengths of the teams for this regional are vastly different than the ones I've covered in the past. Like, obviously last year we're talking about Florida's offense and how tiny that ballpark is in Stillwater, and out in Corvallis, we're talking about that powerful Oregon State offense, or in Clemson, you're talking about Seth Beer. I think that was always the thing to me, is how offensive the regionals have been. This one is quite different. This is the pitching regional, so to speak. Like there's obviously guys in the lineup that scare you and can do a lot of different things offensively, but all the attention is on the pitching, really, from not just the Oklahoma side, but obviously Carolina and even Holy Cross. So I think you're going to see some well-pitched games and some elite arms in this regional. I'm going to say low-scoring games, but this is postseason and weird stuff tends to happen. So, I'm impressed with what I've seen in terms of the statistics and the numbers of some of these starters, but you could still see some fireworks offensively.
Hey, the cool thing is the park is going to lend itself to playing big too, right? I'm the resident Carolina honk, and I'm just telling you, pitching in that ballpark, I'm with you. I thought it was about as good a draw as you can get to go to the number 5 team on the road, where it fits the way I think Nebraska is capable of playing baseball. They're not going to win a lot of 12-10 games, but I don't think that's how that region's going to go.
No, I don't think so. And this will shock you, Damon, but I have been wrong before. So there is some power here. Like, there's certainly guys that you got to watch out for. But a lot of these teams like to steal bases, Carolina and Holy Cross namely. So that's something you got to pay attention to when guys are on base. And you got to handle the baseball. That's first and foremost. If Nebraska learned anything from the Big Ten tournament after Tuesday against Michigan State, you got to handle your business defensively and not let innings stack up on you. But no, I'm not expecting a gorilla ball type regional.
Well, that's heartbreaking for somebody who grew up watching late 90s college baseball here in Omaha.
Sorry.
It was a big Skip Bertman LSU guy. No. So as you kind of look through what happened in the Big Ten tournament and then what's coming up here in the regional, compared to how you felt going into the Big Ten tournament versus now, do you feel like Nebraska has enough pitching or enough capable arms now that they can navigate a regional like this that is probably going to be reasonably low scoring?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the tough thing about this team is, you don't really have a true bona fide ace that's healthy. So you're having to kind of just make it work. And then, with your other guys, with Horn and Brockett and even now Timmerman, you've just got to find the roles that fit them best. And so, you love that you can get length out of the back end with Christo and with Broderick. You love that you can match up some left-handed pitching. But overall, you just got to take this thing game by game and piece it together. And, guys tend to rise to the occasion in terms of making themselves available for the length of the duration of the regional, because your season's on the line and you have to win, pretty much every game here in at least the first 2, to put yourself in the driver's seat to advance your season past this weekend.
So, B, let me ask you something. People, much ado about nothing. We've seen people handle their staffs differently, right? Obviously, with Spoon, not Malachi, but 1 minute older twin bro. To save him, Malachi is plenty capable to get it done too. You think it's too much, too low hanging fruit to say, ooh, they're not throwing their ace? I mean, we've seen staffs maneuver for regionals before where Nebraska doesn't necessarily have to take it personal. We're just trying to win baseball games, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of spin the narrative however you want, right? I mean, you can make the puzzle pieces fit how you want. But, at the end of the day, Oklahoma's trying to do the same thing Nebraska is. And whether they want to make a run or not, Malachi did not pitch at Hoover. And so those guys, I'm of the mindset where those guys have to throw anyway. Like, they're going to have to pitch and win games anyway. So if they feel better about a particular hypothetical matchup, good on you. But I don't feel any disrespect by it. But, if it's going to add fuel to the fire and logs to the fire, then sure, let's be offended by it. It makes no difference to me.
I mean, honestly, Oklahoma's in sort of a similar position as Nebraska. Obviously, Kyson Witherspoon is much has a much higher pedigree than, say, like a Jackson Brockett. But you do kind of have the one guy with pretty solid numbers as a starter, and then everybody else, those numbers get inflated in a hurry. So this isn't like not seeing Kyson is maybe an opportunity here for Nebraska, whether they take it as a slight or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a top 5, top 6 overall pick in the Major League draft that Nebraska's not seeing. Like let's not pretend like that's not a benefit to Nebraska. It most certainly is. Now, that being said, you still have to go through and execute what you're doing offensively, no matter what you're seeing. Nebraska saw elite level pitching all weekend in the Big Ten tournament, and that's just going to continue on, not just with Oklahoma, but certainly with Holy Cross, with the 2 guys that, they basically co-aces of that staff. And then you've got if you win against Oklahoma, you're going to have Napa of Carolina waiting for you in your hands. So, I think no matter what situation you're looking at, whether it's Malachi, whether it's Kyson, your hands are going to be full. Now it's a little bit, less of a challenge, so to speak, when you're not dealing with a 97 to 99 fastball with a 90-mile-an-hour changeup and an absolute hammer breaking ball. So, yeah, the test is certainly a little bit easier.
Let me ask you something. If you're watching this deal and kind of this magical ride, and it's easy to say, well, this is the team that they should have been, or you start to lament and compare and contrast, or you may even get well, that doesn't fix what was. How important is it for you to think that for Nebraska to just stay right here with this moment and not allow those kinds of things to filter in?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is baseball, right? I mean, you've got major league teams that win 100 games and don't play playoffs well, and then how do you label their season? Then you get teams that win 80, 82 games and get hot, and then that's how you measure their season. Like, at the end of the day, this sport apologizes to no one, and it's a very difficult sport to manage.
Yeah.
And it plays with your feelings. And so when things are going well, like, I don't need to look holistically or big picture or what happened in March or, how Nebraska navigated that really tough non-conference schedule or how did we handle the Mason McConaughey injury. Like, at this point, I don't really care about any of that. I care about right now, the run that the team's on, how they're feeling, how they're playing, and what's going to happen this weekend. And I'll figure the rest out, in July and August and September. But for right now, the results are what they are. The team did go on the run. That guy did drop the fly ball. Nebraska took advantage of it. They had to go beat 2 ranked teams after the fact. And now they're here in Chapel Hill because of it. So, I don't want to just start labeling things because of how things look. And honestly, just to be blunt, a lot of the people putting those labels on a season or over a head coach aren't with the team in March. And they don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. And, they're not on the 11-day road trip or being on a bus for 3 hours both ways to a baseball game, so to me, it's just kind of like noise, but for right now and where the team is, like, you can't deny these kids this opportunity because what may or may happen in March or April.
Ben, as you're out there this week, you going to try and have any conversations with the Hornets about that number 4 pick?
No. These guys, I mean, what are we? I'm speechless, honestly. Like,
what are we doing? In your famous words.
You trying to talk yourself into VJ Edgecombe yet, or no?
It is. It's not going to matter. Like, even if it's a good pick, something's going to happen to him, and it's going to turn into, a situation. But, I do my best not to think about them. And now that the playoffs have started, I certainly don't have to worry about the Hornets because they're nowhere near the playoffs ever. So, yeah, I mean, it's not of a huge concern right now. However, come next Christmas time when they're already mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, we can revisit that conversation.
All right. I didn't mean to bring up sour stuff. I just thought you were out there. You might try to make a couple calls.
Hey,
would they listen? Like,
it seems like they listen to just about anybody.
That's true. That's true.
How important is it, do you think, for Nebraska to manage the downtime? Is this a team you're around? What do you think?
Well, their hacky sack game is top notch. They've had a lot of.
Are they still doing that?
Oh yeah. Dylan Carey. maybe not so much Overbeek now, but, you know, there has been a lot of guys that have contributed to that fact. And the downtime is something you just kind of get used to when you're on the road. Like, these guys definitely love being around each other and love spending time with each other. And a lot of them are older too.
Yeah.
So they know, like, this is, and those that have been around a locker room know, like, yeah, you remember the games and all that, but what you remember most is your brothers and your boys and being in the hotels and playing the Xboxes and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously important. Like, you need to be taking care of your body. They have the nutritionist and the trainer here, making sure they're not just drinking a bunch of pop and eating fried food. Like, you got to be getting sleep and all that kind of thing. But, you know, this is a really long, grueling season. And if you're not equipped of handling downtime by now, like, here's the other thing is these guys grew up playing travel baseball where they're playing 3, 4, 5 games in a week or a weekend and 100-degree heat and, you know, parents driving them from field to field. So I think a little part of the weird brains of baseball guys is they kind of embrace it and they kind of like it. So, yeah, with rain delays and weather delays, you're always kind of worried about it. But, you know, for the most part, I've kind of given up predicting this team and to a certain degree, and managing downtime is certainly a part of that.
Hey, so speaking of management, like, emotions are part of it, right? Obviously, with Sharpie and the season for you and what this entails, you get guys like Gabe Swanson and Jackson Brockett, who that had just big time embraced the moment. You get Drew Christo on this crazy emotional ride of his career, and now the solid role that he has. Like, I know you're not sentimental, so don't chew me up, but at what point are you going to be like, man, this is I mean, this is kind of what it's about, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's already happened, right? I mean, there's been little moments throughout the season where, you know, Sharpie's been giving us signs from looking down on us that he's still around. And, you know, we've just kind of taken this season as it's come, you know, just day by day. And, you know, with that has come some high points, certainly some low points, some emotional points, and none highlighted more by the Big Ten tournament and the drop fly ball and all that. But, you know, one thing's for sure, he would just be on cloud 9 with this team. He'd be smiling from ear to ear and just soaking this all in. And, you know, I've always said, DB, my only goal, you know, from here on out is to make him proud, you know. And so whatever I have going on in my life before, during, or after a game, I owe it to Greg and I owe it to Husker Nation to give it my very best. And, you know, that's going to continue to be my promise to everybody, and, you know, be thinking about him all the time, because, you know, I owe that to Greg with everything that he gave me.
Hey, for how big, that's, man. Let me get you out of here on this. Gosh darn you, Benny. For kind of what Christo came in with, and it's just because I have such an affinity for him and his family and kind of the role. He's kind of like the gas can guy, right? Not the gas can guy. He's like the guy that puts out the fires now, where they bring him in tough situations, and he's kind of flourished in this role, man. How much do you think a guy like Christo typifies to just what Childress and Bolt and kind of the culture brings for Nebraska baseball in terms of just being able to hang in there?
He embodies everything you want throughout the story of a career dealing with adversity. You know, he's going to be a doctor, so he's way smarter than all of us. You know, he's having to take very difficult classes, manage all the expectations of being the highest ranked, you know, recruit, and who knows how long. He's weathered success. He's weathered failure. He leads the Big Ten in appearances this year. I mean, he embodies everything that we want. And you better believe me, whenever this season ends, Nebraska's really going to miss 25. And he'll be talked about a long time for what he's given this program.
That's our guy, Ben McLaughlin, play-by-play voice of Nebraska baseball. Ben, appreciate the time. As always, look forward to hearing you on the call this weekend.
Hey, knock it stiff, buddy.
We'll try. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it.
That's our guy, Benny Mack.
Big fan.
Can't believe he's not all in on VJ Edgecombe.
Can you imagine us on the road?
No.
And he sits next to me on the plane.
I feel like it would be a bit of a bleep show.
So clearly he can give it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
he's one of those guys that, much like yourself, that enjoys the good ribbings, and you're like, why do you hang out with that guy? He's hilarious.
It's funny. It's pretty funny.
I told you he would. I had a feeling he would be like that with the gear.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like basically bleep off unless I beg.
If it literally falls in my lap, I will.
He's like, I'm not going looking.
Not going to go out of my way for it. We've got more Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
That was awesome. And I think just that whole run from the bullpen down to the top of that dog pile, I was just kind of looking around the stadium and just looking up to the sky. And I think I was running with my hands out like this and just trying to take in all the feelings and all the emotions that kind of came and culminated at the end of that game, not only throughout that tournament, but just kind of throughout this season, and being able to win that one and, you know, be able to play another day. I think that was just an amazing feeling, and I was trying to soak it all in. So that's a run that I'll remember for a while.
At Centros Federal Credit Union, we have the tools and resources to help our members fulfill their financial goals. With a focus on building a stronger community for the next generation of leaders. Centros Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a whirlwind. We kind of take a step back and look at it, but I'm just focusing one day at a time. You know, it was cool to see like Christian Moore last week, and we were both kind of in the same boat. So talking to him and just kind of piecing together this past year, it's been cool to see, especially be able to do it with some people from the draft class. So it's been great.
Your adjustment to AAA pitching looked pretty smooth in the first series. What if anything did you see that was different from AA?
Definitely the pitcher's misses. You know, they're going to be a lot more competitive. So you really just kind of need to keep that laser focus throughout every AB, pitch to pitch. AA guys' stuff, I would say, might play a little bit better just because younger guys coming up, they have live arms. But, you know, these guys, most of the time you're facing somebody with showtime, so they know what they're doing. They know how to pitch very well, so I just keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, we were having those conversations, you know, at points during the season. But we also knew if we could kind of just get through that, you know, we weren't looking ahead that the schedule was getting easier, but it just was like, okay, like maybe we can catch our breath because we had the 2 home weekends at the end that helped certainly, no matter who you're playing, just being able to play at home for a larger stretch there at the end of the season was helpful. But yeah, I just think that's, you know, when we're trying to be a top 16 seed, you know, I've not shied away from that goal. It's incredibly difficult to do that, and you have to challenge yourself, I think, and with a schedule, in order to be in that situation. And, who knows how the season would have played out if, we hadn't had those injuries, but it's made us who we are. And, we're a tougher team because of it.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you that there's so many possibilities with your home's equity. You can finish a remodel, get your kitchen updated, or maybe just take that vacation you've had your eye on for a while. Here's how it works. A home equity loan or line of credit with Centris Federal Credit Union allows you to access your home's equity for the cash you need. This typically offers lower interest rates than credit cards or personal loans. Go check it out, centrisfcu.org, to talk to one of their experts, see what product or service is best for you. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender. So, DB, I don't think we have enough time here.
I know.
To get into our Big 12 rankings yet.
I don't think we have enough time here.
Well, I think we're going to have to – we got B. Edwards coming up at 8:43.
Use cream cheese and butter the bagel.
We got Michael Bruntz at 9.
Bruntz.
I think we're going to talk to one and only Ed Servais.
You think Bruntz, as a Broncos fan, has ever cheered for
a chief?
Eric Warfield?
I think he was a big Jamal Charles guy.
Big Priest.
Right.
Priest Holmes.
The Priest Holmes one for Schaefer is wild. Because he wouldn't have had an affinity for him in college, I don't think either.
Nope. He said young Mike Schaefer. He went third person.
That's that one's out there. That might be one of the more random because he should have hated him twice.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Although, as a Vikings fan, he's not going to hate the Chiefs the way like a Broncos fan like Bruntz is going to.
You think?
I would imagine, or the animosity that like Shano has for the Chiefs. I don't think
Shano! Or like Wyatt going from the Raiders to the Broncos.
Wow.
It was more from Bo Jackson to the Broncos.
Yeah, don't be trying to pigeonhole my man Wyatt like that.
You don't got to be a jerk about it, Shane.
I
know you're mad about the Raiders thing. It's
Shane
fine.
stays mad.
It's fine.
Team Petty.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, we are going to get to the Big 12 rankings. It might be tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a heads up.
It's significantly more difficult than the ACC.
So just to sort of preview our rankings here a little bit.
You just have to shoot your shot.
Maybe, yeah. Not sure I can help it.
Maybe yap.
It's a deep conference.
I know.
It's a real deep conference, which is why we don't have time to do it right now.
Yeah,
so
and you guys keep telling me about the kiddie table. It's fine.
Make sure you. Well, I mean,
I'm not gonna listen.
So here's the one thing I'll push back on some. So I agree with you on this year. I think long term it's going to play out more kiddie table in adults.
Yeah, no,
right.
I'm with you.
And I think the bet that Sankey's making isn't for this year. It's for if he is betting on getting that 15 man.
I'm just saying,
as opposed to the extra conference game. But this year, I think you're right.
He's banking on a lot of unproven pups.
He's banking on
the old Sankster.
He's banking on some quarterbacks I don't trust this year. I think he's trusting the infrastructure of his conference long term.
And smart money says that he's right.
Yeah, which I get makes and ESPN money says he's right too. So that kind of helps.
Yeah.
When you've got the the media machine behind it can help you out a little bit.
Hey, who dropped the worldwide leader in
talking? That was Schaefer.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, it's the worldwide leader in talking. It's not the worldwide leader in sports anymore.
I thought that was.
They occasionally show sports around their talking shows.
It was classic.
No, it was pretty good. It was classic Schaefer. They did have there were a couple coaches yesterday at SEC Media Days that were talking about sort of playoff format since that's become this whole thing, right?
Yeah, you think we're talking about defenses, but really it's the number of AQs, which is nauseating.
Apparently 4-4-2-2-1-3 is not a defense. 5'11", not a defense. But apparently, if you're Lane Kiffin, he's just seed them 1 through 16. No AQs for anybody.
I am a little on the Kiffin train.
I was going to say, that feels like what you want.
I'm a little on the Lane train.
Right.
And I don't trust it.
I know.
I don't
you want
trust
Gardwells.
I do, because I do not trust the people making the decisions.
I'm on the Lane train because he gives it to Feinbaum on the constant.
Absolutely. And you know I love Lane.
And I love a good success story.
That's one, and a little comeback story.
Yeah.
Yeah, had another second chance.
So personal life too.
Third chance, maybe even. However you want to put it.
And yeah, Tennessee SC. Yeah, he's been through it now.
He has. Raiders. Don't forget about your Raiders, Shano.
Shane loves Kiffinator.
I can never forget about Lane.
The Lane train.
Yeah.
I don't mind seeding 1 through 16, but I get what you're saying because you don't trust anybody.
I don't.
And so you're like, well, it'll be stacked with no built-in guardrails.
So I don't trust.
I don't think that's your voice, but
it's not exactly. But you got to differentiate. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't want people to think that's me saying that nonsense.
I don't. Well, it's not nonsense because it's 100%.
It's totally nonsensical.
It's 100%.
It's
true.
the most nonsensical thing ever that you're paranoid that they're going to let 8 big SEC teams in because.
So you think it's nonsensical that?
Yeah, well, you used 8 as the analogy yesterday off air when you were going ham.
8's too many, probably. But I also will not put
4, 6. You're like the teacher that won't let the one kid go to the restroom because she thinks the other 28 will ask.
No,
well, I can't let everybody go.
I mean, you can let everybody go. It's going to the bathroom. It doesn't matter. You let them go one at a time. It's not a big deal.
Well, if they let 4 in, it's going to be 8.
No, here's where I have it. This is a different analogy because the teacher does not have an agenda to not letting people go to the bathroom. My agenda there would be
the conference at the selection committee has an agenda to appease the SEC.
I don't trust the selection committee not to be influenced by television partners
because their trust
by television partners.
Okay.
At the end of the day, this is an entertainment product. We've had that proved out in court.
Right. So we're going with ESPN and Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those are going to have an outsized.
Who's Nebraska's media partner? Who's the Big Ten's media partner?
Fox.
Oh, all right.
But this is for the Big Ten too. This isn't.
I
just
understand it's for the
SEC.
Big Ten too. But you keep talking about with the SEC slant.
Well, let's talk about the Big Ten. I don't want 8 Big Ten teams in there either. I don't think Minnesota as like an 8th
You keep
place.
hating on Minnesota and see what happens.
Who would you like me to hate on instead? I don't think Michigan State as an 8th place.
Ooh, Chillis is
Big Ten team. Belongs in a college football playoff. It's like I don't believe that 14 SEC teams should have made the NCAA tournament, or 13 NCAA or 13 SEC teams should have made the regionals. We already know what those teams are. Knock it off. They had their chance. You know what their playoff was? The regular season. They failed. They're out. I don't need them to say, well, SEC and ESPN have their partners over here, and Fox and Big Ten have their partners over here. It's in our best interest to have those teams in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. You're right. It's not just an SEC thing. It's a Big Ten problem too.
I can respect the guardrails. I'm not totally out on it, Ravi.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I prefer a natural seating selection like 1 through 16. As he says.
Like the Chapel Sissing?
Well,
Big Michelangelo guy.
What do you have against saying tease?
You said that first. You go, Sissing.
Yeah, but you went Chapel.
Like Billy?
The cathedral known as Yankee Stadium now has its chapel.
R.I.P.
I prefer.
I thought the chapel was in North Carolina.
No, just the hill.
You wayward sons, would you like to carry on?
Yeah, I know.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I prefer more of a natural seating selection like 1 through 16.
That would be my preference if I could trust all the parties.
I never
involved.
heard you say that.
I'm saying it now.
Well, because you typically are and gravitate towards the way that I think.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I think you should. It'll keep you safe.
I don't know about that.
Safer.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's true. Boy out here dodging bullets.
Yeah, I would love it if I would love it if I could trust it just to go 1 through 16. I really would. Because some years it's gonna be 4 Big Ten teams, some years it might be 3, 2, whatever. I would love it if I could trust that. I don't think that's plausible.
Well, all I'm saying is you need.
What do I need?
We need to get away from the AQs.
Okay, so I know your big hang up with the AQs is the ninth conference game. If you get the ninth conference game, are you cool with the AQs? Or you still don't like them?
I'm cool with the AQs if everybody's playing the same number of conference games.
Because Brian Kelly yesterday goes, hey, give me 9 conference games.
Everybody.
Give me 1 Big Ten SEC game, and then we'll play 2 non-cons.
Yeah, that's fine.
You on board?
Yes. Yeah.
Then the 4-4, 2-2-3-1, you're cool?
Yeah, because
everybody's on the same page.
Yes.
Apples to apples.
I said that in 2018.
I know, but that's been a minute. We weren't doing a show back then. You and me weren't.
I don't know.
Shane, remember when I thought I was just anti? Oh, mister, all you want is competitiveness. So some of us just want to watch football and be entertained. I said, no, I want to find who the best team is.
Yeah.
Well, I want more football. I want more team. Listen, you can't get there. You think a party's bigger with more people because you lessen the dress code? You're going to get all sort of yahoos and miscreants in there.
You know I love a dress code, personally.
Whatever.
I do.
Well, maybe.
I like gatekeeping.
Look, hey, don't think I think you're being sarcastic. I know what you're trying to do. Maybe if I sarcastically tell him the truth, he'll think I'm not telling the truth.
No, I just like to slide things in there to see what people don't.
Yeah, Ravi mind tricks. Yeah, young Padawan. Not May.
Nailed it.
Juan.
Like Gonzalez.
I got you.
100 RBIs before the break in like 98.
I know. I'm with you.
Couldn't break the record, though. Disappointing.
You make me mad.
What'd I do?
I don't know.
I feel like we're just having a nice conversation about baseball.
We're not.
Juan Gonzalez.
Going Juan.
Big Texas Rangers guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Coming up next, we got Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider here, Hurrdat Sports Live.
At Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I thought we had really great growth spurts. I mean, we came out of the gate and lost. I call them silly losses. I don't know how else to, talk about it. We win a game there, or we might have been hosting. That's just the difference. But I think that we learned, and I always say, it's not always about the loss; it's about the learn. And I think that we learned a lot. We learned quickly, and a lot of our learns stuck. And when we could get past the emotion of today, I hope that they all can understand that they did that. They did that with their behavior and their attitude every day. I mean, you're going to look back at this season. I'm going to look back at this season as a coach and be really, really proud of it. I'm already really proud of it, but I'm going to be able to put context to it because there's a lot of things as you've been with us the whole time.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Now, Vegas insider, senior handicapper, and fan of the cold Budweiser bottles, Brian Edwards.
It's got to be touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Brian Edwards.
I don't really love it.
Brian Edwards.
The way they're using the cream cheese to butter the bagel.
Brian Edwards.
I'm going with the cowgirl.
Here is Brian Edwards.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider, Major Wager. What's up, B?
Good morning, fellas. What's happening?
B, what are you doing having the audio like
I'll
locked
say
and loaded?
first
ready
try.
to go,
Let's
man?
go.
What's going on?
See, Damon, you need to listen to Ravi. I mean, I'm on a streak.
Oh, no,
today.
I don't.
Like, I'm like 8 out of 10 on first try.
I like 8 out of 10 is good.
See, B, there's like a couple things though, right? So like 8 out of 10 sounds good, but like if you're a pilot that nails 8 out of 10, we got a problem.
This is true, but I'm not a pilot, thank goodness.
I'm just saying, like, context to 8 out of 10 matters here.
They get enough problems at the airport right now. They don't need me behind the.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Behind the wheel.
Yeah,
they might need you to air
behind the whatever.
I think the let's just start with controlling traffic.
Right.
Like,
yes.
I just don't want to see a plane within 20 feet of me when I'm in the air.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it
not great.
feels a little dangerous.
With like a little space there.
I don't have any flights coming up. Damon, you probably got to travel for football coming up. Don't
Yeah,
you?
I do. But we won't cross that bridge until we absolutely have to be.
Sure.
All right. So how good of a day was it for college basketball?
Yes.
And the deadline last night.
All week, really.
I mean,
had them trickling.
So apparently college basketball is going to be good again next year, B.
Yeah, man. I mean, we have a lot of issues in college sports right now, but the one good thing about NIL is we do get the good players to come back. I mean, so many players that withdrew this week would have never, ever come back 5 or 6 years ago.
They're like second round, 10-day contract try. Let's go.
You're like, oh,
Right?
I could go make 7 figures at Florida.
Right? I'm wondering. I think LeBaron Philon for Bama was the biggest news yesterday because, a couple things. One, he was quoted at the combine saying he was 100% in the draft. I mean, I do a podcast for Southeastern 16 where we talk the portal stuff like every week, and I mean, we all assumed he was gone. I had no idea that that was even. But I guess like now you don't like sign with an agent and your eligibility is gone because all these guys have agents. So I guess anybody that declares, I guess, can pull out because we thought Philon was gone. And what was interesting is the NIL arm of Alabama is the one who announced he was coming back at I think it was 90 minutes before midnight. So, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And it was leaked all throughout your part of neck of the woods that you knew Condon was coming back. I mean, you intimated that last week.
Did you know you were getting Boogie Flan though? Because that one kind of surprised me.
And quietly, I'm a Boogie Flan guy.
I was surprised he came back. That he ended up in Florida.
Well, it kind of surprised me. A week before he announced, Chris Harry, the beat writer for Florida, was on a podcast and said they're about to get a big guy. And then Golden was on something where he kind of intimated, we think we're going to get one big guy to get over the hump. And then so the Florida beat writers were speculating it was Boogie. So I guess I kind of suspected 4 or 5 days before he actually committed. But when that leaked, 5 days, whatever it was, yeah, I was a little surprised at that point. But, it ended up working out for Florida because Denzel Aberdeen wanted more money and they were offering him a little more than $1 million. And Kentucky gave him $2 million or maybe more. And then that's what we ended up giving Boogie Flan. But I love Denzel, but I'll take Boogie Flan over Denzel a lot,
Yeah, I think you won that trade.
So what are we thinking here with playing the favorites? What kind of odds are you getting for your Gator bait to repeat?
Yeah, what's the futures market look like right now?
Yeah, so I got Florida at 25-1 before I was just kind of trusting Golden would do good work because I knew the Hugh Hathcock, the biggest NLI guy for Florida after the Natty, said he was gonna, be putting in a lot. So I just kind of trusted Golden, and so I knew, I felt like Condon was probably gonna come back, and trusted into Golden. So I got him at 25, or Florida at 25-1, but they're now 17-1. So right now at FanDuel, Purdue, Houston, and Duke are the 11-1 co-favorites. Then, so I guess because there's four shortest odds, UConn 16-1, and then 5 teams share 17-1. Florida, Louisville, St. John's, Kansas, and Michigan. And then there's Kentucky 18-1. They got good news with Owe coming back.
Yep.
Texas Tech is 21, along with BYU at 21.
Yeah, Nebraska gets BYU in the non-con. Creighton's got St. John, obviously, and UConn in the conference. Right now, I would take – it's not even a flyer. I think you got to take a good look at St. John.
Yeah, no, I love what they've done. I definitely do. And, I know Pitino lost to Calipari, but, and I hate Pitino, but he's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in college basketball, and now he's got him a squad for sure.
Wow, man, kind of mincing words. How do you really feel about Pitino? I'm not sure.
Well, that goes back like 25 years. So, he told Donovan not to take the Florida job, that it was a career-killing job, and so I haven't liked him since then.
Seemed like that worked out okay for Billy.
Brian Edwards, the keeper of receipts.
So it wasn't just a good day or good week for Florida. Bama and Auburn got some good news as well. How does that make you feel sort of within the landscape of the SEC?
Well, yeah, no, we got some contenders,
Pettiford, big one, right?
Pettiford was a big one, and Auburn got got an international guy. I think Jovic is his name. A V instead of a K, like the Joker for the Nuggets. Yep. So Auburn, big day. Alabama also found out Houston Mallett, the Pepperdine transfer, who pretty much sat out all of last year. He played like sparingly in 5 or 6 games. He had a knee issue. He got a medical red shirt. So they got a lot of 3-point shooters to go around Phylon. And I'm thinking Phylon might have got the biggest bag, seeing how the NIL arm announced it. But yeah, Alabama, Kentucky, and Auburn are going to be good. Yeah.
As long as we're logging onto the Homer Network here, I need you to take a look at a flyer on Creighton. That roster is really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. And they're 50-1, by the way.
That's 50-1's good odds for what that roster is.
Yeah, no, and I love McDermott.
It probably ought to be lower.
Like I thought it should be about 30.
Yeah.
30-1 somewhere in there, but like that's a really good roster if they come together. Like,
they're right there with UConn, St. John, and
yeah. If
St. John is, would you say 20-1?
I think
17.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. There's no way Creighton's 50-1. That should be closer to 30.
Yeah. Like I could see St. John's being the clear favorite. Like they brought in a haul this year. I get that, but they should be somewhere between 25 and 30-1 if St. John's is at 17.
We were talking earlier, B, about guys that I used to cheer for that go to other teams. I am no longer a Jackson fan. He can have all he can have all he wants in St. John and shoot those crazy shots and have mad that people won't tie your braids up. Go ahead and do your thing. I made it through the Kobe White era. I'll make it through this.
Did you guys see Will Wade got Darian Williams, the Texas, the guy that was killing the game? That was a big get for Will Wade.
Will Wade is a monster.
He is.
If Hubert doesn't get UNC going, with apologies to Kelsey and Louisville, he's got to win an NCAA tournament game before I give him too much respect. But if Hubert doesn't get UNC going on track again here real soon, NC State's going to be the number 2 program in the ACC real fast.
I know. It hurts my feelings. I haven't even said anything mean about your Gators yet. Jeez, B.
Oh, I forget you're a UNC guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You're all over the place. Yeah, UNC, Steelers, Lakers.
Listen, I am not. Two states for my pro teams, California and Pittsburgh. That's it. Okay. Steelers, Penguins, Dodgers, Lakers. That's it. That is not all over the place, P.
Okay, and UNC's like your side squad besides Nebraska?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We all have side squads. We all have side squads.
Listen,
Florida State's my side squad.
Listen, I prefer. Sometimes I want sausage instead of bacon. I don't need a side.
Yeah, sausage is your side piece. It's fine.
Change it up to bacon. All right, B. I do want to get into these win totals. It's arguably the best part that I like about summer sometimes when the main sports slow down because we're trying to do predictions and see where folks are going to finish. And we're starting dab smack with a Big Ten darling. A lot of folks like this team because of their schedule. And then the win total came out, and it seemed low for the expectations of people thinking that Illinois is knocking on the playoff door. 7.5 isn't huge. What do you like?
I like it over. Now FanDuel's got it way juiced to -176. Now, when I looked at Circa, now granted this was like 4 or 5 days ago, Circa had the over 7.5 for Illinois at only -125. Now that may have changed in the last few days, but like you said, Damon, the schedule works. And before I even go through the schedule, let me point out, because I see this with a lot of SEC teams, their open dates, like both teams will have 2 weeks to prepare, and that makes the open dates a wash. But I looked up for Illinois. So when they get done playing Ohio State at home, they have 2 weeks to prepare for a trip at Washington. Washington's at Michigan the week before. So that's a really good rest advantage and good. I mean, granted, you got to go out west, but at least Washington plays the week before and also has to make, a cross-country trip. And then after they play at Washington and Rutgers at home, they have 2 weeks to prepare for Maryland at home, and Maryland's got to play the week before and on the road at Rutgers. So those are legit, open dates that help them. In September, you've got 2 home games to Western Illinois and Western Michigan, which I think we can go ahead and put as W's. At Duke and at Indiana are both pretty hard road games. Yeah. So I'm gonna say a split there, 3-1. USC at home is kind of a toss-up, but I like Illinois' chances there. I'm gonna say 4-1 at Purdue, 5-1. Lost to Ohio State, 5-2. And I think they gonna win at Washington and Rutgers at home for 7-2 and Maryland at home for 8-2. And there we are. And at Wisconsin, let's say they lose that. Northwestern at home, I think that's 9-3. But even if they lose like USC at home or even both of that Indiana at Duke,
I think that's awful.
Low, the 7.5.
No, it's optimistic.
Oh,
especially if Mensa's any good at Duke. I think Indiana's going to be. You're thinking split there, B?
Well, they could lose both, no doubt. They could definitely lose both. But
means you get a lot of leeway with the 7.5.
Yeah,
and
a full game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might be in a position if it's getting a little hairy and it's like, let's say they are 7-3, going into the at Wisconsin game. Well, actually, no, let's say they're 6-4. Because you're going to assume they're going to beat Northwestern at home in the regular season finale. Maybe you have a hedge situation with Wisconsin their next to last game, maybe. But, I mean, hopefully not. No, but back to the personnel, or I didn't even start with the personnel. Altmaier, 22-6 TDINT ratio, and 16 returning starters, the entire O-line. And they went 9-3 last year, so.
Yeah, so B, my argument was that they're going to be about the same team they were last year. So that puts me at about 9-3, 8-4, somewhere in that range. Is that one with kind of the juice to the over? Would you maybe look at an alternate line, see if you get some plus money at 8.5, or is that too rich for you?
Possibly. Let's see what that plus money would be, because I haven't seen that alt line yet. But those alt lines will be out pretty soon. God, I had another point I was going to make on top. Forgetting it.
Their coaching staff's all back too for Illinois, so that helps.
Yeah,
that does.
That's continuity.
Continuity
that a lot of guys don't have. But I do think I think they made their leap last year.
Well, let me also. I know what I was going to say. If it's not -125 at Circa, like I don't like this if it's -176, or if you're going to do it at -176 juice like FanDuel has right now, I mean, really small play, not a big opinion. But if it's
But if
minus
you-
125, I like it a lot.
So what is it? What moves the needle for you game wise? Is it if they're off a game and a half? Like what really moves the needle?
I've always said I like 1.5 game cushion because, you know, you might have a quarterback out 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And if I'm thinking they're going 9-3 and the number's 7.5 and it's not too, you know, expensive juice wise, that's usually a play. And I know I am being optimistic, excuse me, with 9-3, but I feel pretty decent about it. And that's a 1.5 game cushion on a win total. So as long as the juice isn't too high, that means I like it.
All right, B. We'll let's get into some more Big Ten win totals next week.
Yeah,
we'll,
for sure. We'll fire them over to you.
We'll fire some teams.
I don't want to be. I want to be selfish and say I'll fire him over, but I'll get Ravi's opinion because we're only going to do what he wants.
No, I'm sure those teams are fine. That'll work.
He's not going to do that. I'm going to say 2 teams, and he's going to be like, nope, and then we'll arm wrestle, and then we'll both get him over to you.
I'm very accommodating, B. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, he oozes accommodations, Brian.
I like Pacers tonight. If any of your listeners were wondering,
Catching 5.
4.5 at a lot of books right now. Some at 4. Actually, it looks like a lot of books have moved to 4. But yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have an MVP? Neesmith? No. Halliburton?
I mean, it's definitely Halliburton.
Definitely, huh?
Yeah, it's 100%.
I think Halliburton. Yeah,
Gotta be.
All right. He is the most popular.
Well, it's
the heck with actually watching how it's done.
Not the most overrated anymore, apparently.
Wow.
B, we'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.
All right, y'all as well. Thanks, guys.
All right.
We got Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7, coming up next.
At Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I thought we had really great growth spurts. I mean, we came out of the gate and lost. I call them silly losses. I don't know how else to, talk about it. We win a game there, or we might have been hosting. That's just the difference. But I think that we learned, and I always say, it's not always about the loss; it's about the learn. And I think that we learned a lot. We learned quickly, and a lot of our learns stuck. And when we could get past the emotion of today, I hope that they all can understand that they did that. They did that with their behavior and their attitude every day. I mean, you're going to look back at this season. I'm going to look back at this season as a coach and be really, really proud of it. I'm already really proud of it, but I'm going to be able to put context to it because there's a lot of things as you've been with us the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, we were close. We were one pitch away from being on the other end of today. But just the whole season in general, again, I'm really proud of our team. We did grow a lot, but at the same time, we know we didn't meet our potential. And with that being said, we're graduating 4 seniors, 2 who are in the lineup really consistently. And so we have a ton of returners. And in the locker room, we talked about watch Tennessee celebrate. Like, Like, let it burn as bad as it can. Watch them celebrate. Watch them hold their ticket. Watch them put those hats on, and watch them in the World Series. Because I feel like that is how you are able to gain the most out of being on the other end of that. And so with as many returners as we do have, that's what we're doing. And so, yeah, we had a great year. But, yeah, again, we know we didn't meet our potential, and we're going to be hungry for next year.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centros Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Just a couple days left to get your May specials, whether it's those beef tachos, whether it's the chicken strawberry salad, or that breezy blackberry lemonade. Just a couple days left before they switch those out for some June. And I'm going to guess, I'm going to go out on a limb here, maybe some baseball-inspired specials.
We're talking baseball.
I don't know if you know this. There's a big championship that happens here in Omaha. The little tournament.
If who knows?
Just like the general public. The royal we. If they know about.
Very handsy. Very handsy.
You know, I'm very animated.
Yes, you are.
You know?
Why is this on?
I don't know. We were watching.
Feel free to change it.
Well, I'm sorry. I had the show that you like on, and the show's over.
That's not the show I like.
Unsportsmanlike? That's your show. That's your get over it. Your whole thing.
Yeah.
It ended literally 3 minutes ago.
Do you know what they did today?
What's that?
Well, it was Pat, the producer, was mad at like bad bread being served on sandwiches.
Ooh, bad bread on a sandwich is
so they
terrible.
were like drafting breads.
So to me, it's not.
I had to walk off. I got out of the car and yelled at Shane about hula berry.
To me, it's not about the type of bread so much as just how it's cooked and prepared.
Yeah. Nobody drafted Asiago.
Asiago bread is
I got focaccia. I got sourdough. Somebody said honey wheat before Asiago. Really?
I mean, listen, I've had some good honey wheats in the day.
Honey wheat?
Yeah.
Dude, plain white. White.
Plain what?
White.
Plain white?
White.
Are you a big rye guy?
No. Canny took rye.
A lot of people are big rye guys.
Rye sucks.
Especially if you're riding with Omaha and the Reuben, you like rye.
Oh, it doesn't have enough range.
No, it's just for the Reuben, basically.
Yeah.
You seem like you might be a big rye guy.
Oh, I love corned beef.
Yeah, you like Reubens.
Is that the
I like corned beef.
Is the rye
You
stuff?
love Reubens.
No, I don't love Reubens.
I
don't like Thousand Island, and Swiss would be the last. Not the
What
last.
about sauerkraut? Big sauerkraut guy?
I hate sauerkraut.
Okay. So we're out on.
We like corned beef.
So you love Reubens.
Is the rye stuff the marble stuff?
Yeah, you can get marbled rye. Yes.
Yeah.
And Bruntz is logging in now.
A lot of times it is a marbled rye on a Reuben sandwich.
So we
You
as
big pumpernickel guy?
no, but Pumpernickel got drafted.
Really?
Yes.
Before Asiago?
Yes.
That's wild.
What? I took it out on Shane.
Well, he was
I
taking
accused
it
him
out
of
on the
smoking
hula.
waffles, and he said it's not waffles, it's hula berry.
It's Fruity Pebbles.
He didn't say it like that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Poor Bruntz. He's probably waiting like Michael Timothy Bruntz.
Husker 24/7. Michael Bruntz, what's going on, bud?
And it's
What's
not-
up?
Not Timothy. Hi. How are
Hi,
you?
sorry I'm late. What's going on?
It's fine.
We were just having a discussion about bread.
Apparently, you were so good last week, Bruntz, that Shane just is using a lot of your little sarcastic, snippy one-liners.
You guys talking pumpernickel?
We
brought up pumpernickel. It got brought up.
We were talking about bread drafts.
Right.
Yeah, right. I know. Hey, Bruntz, how many quad one opportunities do the Blue Jays have?
Right. I know.
4 of them now, baby.
They made it. They're in.
Hey, I appreciate Nebraska pumping up their RPI a little bit so that Creighton could get one of those back.
Yeah, that was a big day for baseball in Nebraska for that reason.
Hey, so you kind of have this particular eating style, Bruntz. Big bread guy? Are you a big bread guy with all your
I like bread. I like bread.
Do you have a top 2-3 of breads?
Sourdough is
the
top. It's a first round pick, probably. I think
the versatile bread.
Let's see what else. Man,
I'll be honest. I am a plain white guy. I like a plain white bread.
Pat, the producer,
Right.
took plain
I know.
white.
a little. Is like a baguette? Is that separate? Like something that you can, like,
baguette made the
that you can kind of rip,
Yeah.
like this.
That's a
like
good call.
this.
What about a King's Hawaiian roll? Big King's
No,
Hawaiian.
What?
No.
Art. They
What
suck.
is? What
It's
do you?
so overrated.
Why do you guys not like sweet bread?
It's just not good.
He's out on honey wheat over here too.
Nobody's clamoring for honey wheat.
I would love some honey wheat. That sounds delicious.
Bruntz, let me ask you another question since your colleague had me all hemmed up yesterday on my phone talking about random sports things. And all I tried to do was give away free money. I said, Mike J, easy game to play today. Steak couch money for you, cushion. You know what I mean? You and Shelby can go get Junior a nice 20, 28, 30 bat. Get him going. Dodgers getting smoked by the Guardians. Shafe had a couple of jokes. I told him it was lock it up. They ended up winning. Shafe says I didn't see that coming. It birthed a topic.
Okay.
Has Mike Bruntz ever? Do you have an affinity or fanboy or big over anybody that has not played for a team that you cheer for?
Talking like all timers here, like all time favorite athletes.
All-time favorite athletes who played for a team that I didn't.
Do you have one?
See, my mind immediately goes to which player do I hate? That like which is not the premise of the question.
Tony Dorsett, Too Tall Jones, Will Clark, Jeff Kent.
I feel like there's more
Brian
players.
Sipe.
I feel like there's more players that I
Eric
hate.
Metcalf. Like there's lots.
I feel like there's more players that I hate on teams I like than there are players I like on teams I don't like.
Here, you know who I appreciated, and I guess he played. I didn't necessarily hate the team. I rolled my eyes at the team. I really liked Vladimir Guerrero when he was humming and was hitting balls down around his ankles, opposite field for home runs and stuff like that. Like I think I could have an appreciation for it. And being the follower of an AL West team, Ichiro is another one that I would say that I could root for. The stretching got a little much, but I can appreciate the game there. So I think Vlad Guerrero, I think Ichiro. I'm trying to think football wise if there's somebody that I really did that I had an appreciation for. Jerry Rice always kind of was one that I could get behind.
Hey, that's the one-time Bronco. He counts for you.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it doesn't count then. That doesn't. I forgot about that.
Practice squad only.
Dave has an irrational love for Priest Holmes. I almost dry heaved.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't think there's one Kansas City Chief that I would have.
It's not even a Chiefs thing. The second or third time he touched it, he went for 61 on us. And
yeah.
I
would even say like Neil Smith, but he was a Bronco. Like he did more with Denver. He got his rings with Denver. So
actually, I think he had the shorty. He went for about a 5-yard. Then he went for 61. Not that I remember.
Oh, so you got a little PTSD. That's not really fair.
You know what's funny? I guarantee you I'm within a yard of each run. Guaranteed. 5-yard touchdown run, 61-yard touchdown run. Priest Holmes.
I'm gonna try and find it.
I don't even bother. I still remember the dirty, sweaty cellophane turkey sandwiches on the bus pulling out of the dome. That's how warped I am. That's a true story.
It's totally fine.
That's why I can't eat sandwich out of a plastic wrap.
That's the only reason?
Listen, they were sitting on the yes. I'll eat a sandwich, Bruntz. I'm serious.
Okay.
I'd stroll into a gas station and get a pre-made sandwich, but it will never happen again after 1996. I can
I think those are probably the two that immediately come to mind. Larry Walker was another one that I just irrationally had an appreciation for.
Oh, I like
Big Expos guy.
I could get down with the Expos.
Lake Street Bombers. So like Larry Walker, Dante Bichette, Andres Galarraga. I kind of like that squad.
Yeah.
So Bichette was a notoriously mean-spirited person.
Galarraga was my favorite.
Yeah. Big Cat.
Yeah, Big Cat hated Barry Bonds. That's always funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what. So if you're Barry Bonds and you had a nice recliner in the old San Francisco Giants dugout clubhouse, would you let anybody sit in your chair? Apparently, Barry Bonds told Big Cat, "That's not your chair."
Yeah.
Gots to go situation.
I don't know that I would. Well, I mean, Barry Bonds is Big Cat's not somebody I would probably say that to. But then again, going back to your bread question is sorry. Is rye like I think I could get down with rye.
So I don't know if you heard this because I think you were still in the green room. I told Shane that rye is so one-dimensional. I don't know why anybody would pick it.
Because you're taking the Reuben, right?
That's what I said.
But the Reuben's corned beef is good. Everything else is not. It's just bad cheese.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not good.
Fermented
There's
veggies.
a difference.
Oh, that's
like Swiss.
Swiss is like
a good Swiss.
There's no such thing. It's
There.
just okay. Swiss, Colby. There's some of these neutral cheeses that are just like.
What's your top pick in the cheese draft if we're talking?
Sharp cheddar, followed closely by Gouda.
Okay.
Gouda
I can do. Gouda's good.
We're talking Stevie Nicks landslide with sharp cheddar and Gouda. It's not even close.
I think I'm going Parmesan. I'm a big Parmesan guy.
I would rock with some
Parmesan.
Asiago. That's one light cheese I like.
If we're going like deep cuts,
Pepper Jack? No, you don't like a little
Pepper Jack is good.
I like Pepper
Jack
Jack.
is good.
I'm gonna be honest. I got a deep cut for you. I'm a big Manchego guy.
Yeah, Manchego's good though.
Manchego's really good.
Manchego's good.
Mess around with a little Manchego, Bruntz?
Yeah, I can get down.
Yeah, a little Borson? No.
I'm not a
little softer
huge
cheese?
soft cheese guy.
Yeah.
Borson, pretty good.
That's fine. You always need crackers, and that takes too much time. And you can't spread it on bread.
I'm gonna be honest. I'll do like a baked brie every once in a while.
Hey, Bruntz, Caleb may be able to tackle good players in the Big Ten in the open field, but that dude cannot spread peanut butter on bread. Yesterday was laughable. That he looked like he put the piece of bread through a shredder.
Was the peanut butter too dry?
I don't know.
Was it a
too impatient? Is what he is. I'm like, what? Give me that. I wanted to take it. He's Bruntz, I'm serious. I don't even know why I'm telling you this.
Real question. Do you keep the peanut butter in the fridge?
No.
Okay.
What are you?
Some people keep the peanut butter in the fridge, and then it's impossible to spread.
No. It's
all peanut butter in the fridge.
Oh, right.
Some people.
Nobody I want to know.
Some people will buy a more organic peanut butter that has to be refrigerated because it doesn't have the
So
preservatives
we
in
buy
it.
all natural.
Okay.
And it doesn't go in the fridge.
I mean, you also don't put meat in the fridge when you're done with it. So I don't really think that's
I
a
hope
fair.
I put my jambalaya in there. That's a good call. Damn it. It has shrimp in it too.
Yeah, don't eat that if you didn't put it in the fridge.
Oh, I'm eating it. It was unbelievable. It was restaurant, whatever. Bruntz, I got to ask you this before we actually do some sports because you're funny. Do you put ketchup in the fridge?
There's ketchup in my fridge right now.
I don't get it.
Yeah, once it's open, you put it in the fridge.
No, it doesn't say refrigerator. So is that what happens here?
I
Is that what
personally
happens
put it
in
the fridge.
restaurants?
But I also
No one puts ketchup in the fridge that runs a business.
That's a bad habit. Peanut butter, I don't. I
So you guys enjoy cakey ketchup on your lid because it's hard and crusty?
I like
I don't need ketchup though.
I don't either, but
I like the ketchup
I
when
have,
it's
I have a
cold.
6-year-old who can't apparently breathe without it.
Yeah.
I was just happy to get her off a ranch.
I don't use a lot of ketchup, to be fair.
Ketchup is the most overrated condiment in America. In all of America.
Does mayo count as a condiment?
Mayo is not overrated, and it is a condiment.
I'm out on mayo.
Mayo's made a comeback as a binder and for grilled cheese.
I'm not. I'm out on mayo.
Well, it's the aioli. That's where everybody's at now.
I'm a
That's
big
where
aioli.
The public has moved.
Aiolis are fine. Mayo just straight up by itself, no good.
I'm a big aioli guy. I enjoy a good mustard though. That's my favorite. There's probably
You're a big Kendrick guy.
You're an idiot. Probably about 6 or 7 different kinds of mustard in the old Benning fridge. Bruntz.
You ever mix them up though? I feel like there's a high percentage chance of you're wanting something, you're wanting the sweet mustard, and you get over there and accidentally get the tangy.
It
more
actually
spicy.
It low key happened to me yesterday. I wanted the Plotchman Smoke House and got the regular Dijon and was not the same for my Capicola.
You're brown or a yellow guy?
I mean, look at me.
Only talking about mustard.
I'm totally brown.
Okay.
I don't use a lot of yellow mustard.
All right.
Binder maybe. Bruntz, you want to talk sports? You just want to tell jokes all day?
I'm good with whatever you guys want to do.
See the flexibility.
Favorite? Okay, so we asked favorite 3 athletes of all time.
John Elway.
Okay.
Tiger Woods in his prime.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
I left off Tiger Woods.
You did forget about Tiger Woods. I was gonna say that's one of yours.
Yeah,
be.
I left off Tiger Woods. Irrational.
Yeah.
Bruntz, we have two of the same 3.
John Elway is one of yours? Really?
I know we flirt with this thing we call a friendship, Bruntz.
I had no idea.
I'm one of those guys. I would seriously sit down sometime and make the case to you that for the lore, Elway is overrated. I know.
I think he might stop speaking to you.
Look, he's just here. Dude, that's like a psychopath silent.
I think he was.
Wow. Overrated?
Bruntz.
Damon. He knew what he was working with for like the first half. Like
Here
the
we
first
go.
decade.
Here we go.
He had nothing. He took some really bad teams to the Super Bowl, Damon. He could have played professional baseball if he wanted to. He tried.
At 12 years old, Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl with Willie Parker. Like, I get it. Sometimes you got to play with.
I mean, hey, you mean North Carolina great Willie Parker? Show some respect.
Wow. Overrated.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did make so conversely, as our friendship kind of weakens, Schaefer and I are
between your thoughts on rye bread and John Elway. I'm learning a lot today, Damon.
I mean, come on.
At least we can do the high five thing over where the peanut butter goes. So it's not a total wash today.
Aren't you a big mushroom guy?
Yeah.
I love mushrooms.
That's great.
I don't think mushrooms are high on his scale as John.
Yeah.
Elway.
John Elway's overrated. Okay. Let's move on. We're not getting anywhere here.
Why don't you tell him that meat's overrated, Bruntz, because that might be the closest.
No, I don't judge. Do what you got to do. Apparently, we're judging John Elway.
Listen.
I like this because usually this happens to me.
I know.
So I appreciate this happening to somebody else for once.
So of the 3, you have Michael Jordan, not John Elway. Tiger Woods, is he one of your 3?
Yep, Tiger Woods.
Okay, who's your 3rd?
My non-negotiables are Magic Johnson's in there.
Okay.
And this started because I told Schaefer that I actually care about Kershaw, so I was taking every start as emotional for me because I don't know why he takes the bump because he's a competitor and he loves pitching, but Schaefer was like, gosh, he's got Cy Youngs, he's got World Series rings, he's got a ton of money. Because I told him, I said, every time he pitches, I think he's going to break.
Yeah.
Like I have general concern for him.
Which is not an unreasonable concern at this point.
And so it got us started on this whole athlete thing. And then he hit me with the Priest Holmes thing. And I almost didn't recover.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he's like young Mike. He went third person like 3 times yesterday. It was hilarious. Like
somehow Clayton Kershaw's only 37.
I know.
It feels like he's been pitching since wasn't he on the team with Kirk Gibson that beat the A's? That he was on that. Didn't he come in late in that game?
88-89, bro.
Yeah.
I thought it was. So I thought the starting pitching was.
It's actually when he was born, bro.
He was the next day after Fernando would pitch, right?
I thought it was Hideo Nomo, and then I thought it was Kershaw right after that. Was that not the thing?
Yep.
Back in '95.
Right there.
Sounds right.
Even fewer and
Yeah, it's right there.
And Howe.
Right in the sweet spot.
We share a kindred. We're big Howe guys. I mean, played for both of our organizations.
That's true.
Pre and post.
So did Matt Kemp, right?
Drug usage.
Wasn't Kemp an A?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Am I making that up?
Yes.
All right. Well, my bad.
Yes. Matt Kemp is somebody I have an irrational.
You loved Matt.
I have an irrational like for.
He was a Dodger, Padre, Brave, Red, and Rocky, and was a Houston Astro for a short period, but not an A, surprisingly. That feels like the type of guy they'd get at a garage sale.
I was thinking
Mysteriously, he was never really good after he was done dating Rihanna. Weird.
I was thinking of the Padres. I knew there was another California team.
Yeah. Yep.
Bruntz, what are we thinking about the psyche heading into this one with Nebraska? Because they're clearly not just happy to be there.
No, I think there's value in what they went through. Like being in that regional last year, I think you're going into it a little bit more eyes wide open on what you have to do. And I'll say this though, after they won on Sunday, the feeling that I got from the coaching staff was like they exhaled, like they were tired after that run. And I don't know if that's having to play 2 on Saturday and then, the just kind of emotions of Sunday, but I don't think this is a team that's going there to just get more meal money or something or whatever. But I do think
per diem.
I'm just here for the per diem.
Yeah, I'm just here for the Marriott points, which they don't get to keep. By the way, somebody told me that they don't get to keep the points.
Yeah, you got to talk to the Jessica Cooties of the world. She's the master of manipulating that.
Got to go and
the goat.
Got to go try and get those back to the university so they can buy some more tickets.
I don't know. I think it's a block. It's a block rate thing. Anyways, I do think this group, and actually the regional that they drew. I mean, I know North Carolina is by far the favorite in this regional, but it would give me a little bit more hesitation in terms of like what the competitiveness is going to be if they were facing teams that just went in there and just bludgeoned teams with power, like they saw last year. And so, they're missing Kyson Witherspoon in the opener. You still get Malachi Witherspoon, who's a top 125 draft prospect, but I don't know. I mean, Nebraska beat the Big Ten pitcher of the year. They beat the guy that was probably second in that running on Saturday. So roll it out and see how it goes. I mean, I think this is a team that is not like you said, they're not happy to be there. I mean, that's not it didn't feel like business was done when they left Omaha.
Bruntz, we would love to talk to you more. We got to talk a little baseball with our guy Ed Servais here coming up next. So next time we'll try and get to things that are actually sports related.
I'm thoroughly entertained every week. I look forward to it, and when you have to miss, it's like, damn it.
He gets very sad,
and nobody gets except me.
He gets very sad. He gets depressed. It's hard to deal with, Bruntz. So if you can not anymore, because I
think it's because you can give as good as you can take, so it makes it a little more fun.
I hope that you guys do 10 minutes with Ed of just what kind of bread he likes and that kind of stuff before you really get into it.
Strikes me as a big mayo guy. I'm gonna ask him about mayo.
Listen,
there you go.
He's loosened up a little bit this season. Maybe he's in for bread talk.
Get a sponsor, make it a weekly thing. We'll make it happen.
Bruntz, we'll talk to you later.
Yep, see you guys.
We've got Ed Servais from Creighton Baseball coming up next.
At Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Ground ball through the left side. Capisi comes through once again. One run is in. Saylor's going to try to score as well. He will. Lead back to 3 for Creighton. And the sophomore Capisi continues to shine. Ground ball to short. This should end it. North the short way. And Creighton's on to the championship game. They beat Xavier 11-8. And the magical final ride for Ed Servais continues.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by the head coach of your Creighton Blue Jays baseball team, Ed Servais. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Coach, a lot better. Good to talk to you under a little happier circumstances, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's been an interesting year, to say the least.
Yeah, Coach, I kind of wanted to get into that. Obviously, you announced that this is going to be your last year. You've got the kind of coach and waiting situation as well. Just kind of how did the dynamics of that work, and how were you able to work through that to have a obviously really successful season?
Well, I think we all put our heads down and said, hey, we're doing this for the players.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of all checked our egos at the door each and every day for the betterment of the players. You know, I so desperately wanted the players to have a good experience and to enjoy some of these things that we're enjoying here the last several weeks.
Yeah.
So I give the players a ton of credit for hanging in there, you know, seeing this thing through. We got 3 new coaches. We got all kinds of different philosophies going on. But I think we all had this in common. We wanted the players to have a good experience, and I think we've been able to accomplish that.
Coach, I think it's so understated, and I get accused of lacking objectivity because I've been a fan of yours for so long. But just classy, your demeanor, the consistency of the message. We didn't hear about the transition a ton. It wasn't a topic. You guys just kept winning baseball games. If you don't have some sort of a solid culture or something bigger than yourself that you can kind of rally around, seasons like this just can't happen. It seems understated and kind of taken for granted that the season went the way that it did.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, it wasn't easy by any stretch for all of us. But again, I just applaud everybody for really putting the players first. And then I give a ton of credit to the players for being very open-minded. You know, we didn't look very good in the fall, you know, and we all had question marks in the fall. We didn't practice like we're used to seeing our teams practice. There was a lot of stuff going on, and I just thought, oh man, this may not work.
Yeah.
And the players' credit, they hung in there. We have a really good nucleus of older players on this team that really took some ownership. And you know as well as anybody, when your players take ownership, you got a chance to be pretty successful. And that's what they did. I'm just glad we didn't have to play a lot of games in the fall because it may not have been good, you know, but we had time to kind of get on the same page, get the players on the same page, and it's been a nice ride since.
You talk about older guys. How cool is it? And you didn't have him for as long as you maybe wanted this season, but Dom bounces back. He's pitching well now. Big second half of the season. Kind of embodies, or at least typifies, kind of what you're about, right? Hang in there. You battled during the time he was gone. I mean, you lose your ace, and it just seems like an uphill grind every Friday and Saturday of a series, right? And he comes back at the end. He's getting his awards, kind of getting his flowers laid. How much has he kind of meant to this program and just his ability to come back and perform the way that he has?
Well, I'm real proud of Dom. You know, there was a lot of question marks. He had surgery this summer.
Yeah.
And when you have surgery, it was major surgery. You know, none of us knew for sure if and when he would be able to come back. And I saw him take his work ethic to another level. He was more determined than any of the other years I've had him here at Creighton to get back, you know, to be a contributor, to take on that Friday role, which is so important in college baseball. And, you know, we didn't have him the first several weeks. So you're right. We were piecing things together. We didn't know how we were going to do it. You know, we'd get to Saturday sometimes, and we didn't know who would be pitching on Saturday, let alone Sunday. until we got some of our guys back. But once we got, Dom back and he started to establish himself, we kind of build him up a little bit so he could go 4, 5, 6, 7 innings. It's been huge. And I'm just so grateful that he's experiencing some positive things and getting some awards and getting some acknowledgments, because he did a lot of work when the lights were not on this offseason. And he deserves a lot of credit. He's really changed his outlook on a lot of things. I've seen a lot of growth with Dom. And that's one of the beauties of sport. Not only do you see a player develop as a baseball player or an athlete, you see him develop as a person. And I give Dom a lot of credit. I've seen as much development as a person as I had as a baseball player.
Coach, so obviously the early season without Dom led to obviously some challenges, but long term, do you actually think that helped the depth of your pitching staff? You got, 6 guys that have pitched at least 40 innings, and as we're going through these regionals and talking to other coaches and looking at other teams, not a lot of teams have the pitching depth of quality arms with innings and experience that you guys do. Long term, when you get into this regional scenario, do you think that's actually going to end up being a positive?
Yes, it is. And you're absolutely right. As much of a struggle as it was to piece things together in the early part of the year, it does provide us, if we have to go through a loser's bracket situation, if we have to play a fourth game here at a regional, we'll be able to run a guy out there that's been out there a lot, instead of just kind of hold your breath and run a young player who's maybe got 10 innings or so under his belt. So, some of those early struggles of figuring out how we're going to manipulate a game and who's going to pitch and who's not. And then once we started to get our guys back, we got Dom back, we got Jack Pino back, we got Shea Went back. It just gave us a lot more depth. This is the most depth we've ever had for our pitchers. And we're as healthy. We've got one player, Eli Nissen, was not able to play this year because of an injury, which he would have been our Friday guy. Dom would have probably been the Saturday guy. Other than that, we're going into these regionals healthy as anybody could imagine at this time of year. And that's what gets me excited is, we'll be able to go out there with a good unit.
It's interesting too. On our group text, we Coach, we got kind of this our nerdy group text, and it's me, Ravi, D. Marinas, Padilla. We're talking baseball, and you mentioned getting Went back, and obviously as a Blair guy, and I was telling these guys early in that first inning, I don't know much, right? But I'm saying, wow, got by the first, got by the second. I think it was about 2 2/3, maybe third. I go, they're going to get 3 innings out of him. This is going to be fantastic. You bring him back out for the 4th, and it's going kind of the way you want it. Just kind of a testament. It's funny you brought him up because we were talking about him specifically over the weekend when you're when you're able to do that and it works out, and he's not used to starting, guys just stepping up continually, even at the tail end of the Big East tournament. And that title has been a little bit elusive. You still get like a testament to what your program is about, and that's competitive stamina. Like it's uncanny.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job, and there was a lot of stress. We thought we were in good shape going into the championship game. Now that they picked the regional teams, we realized we needed to win that game.
Yeah.
We thought if we went into the regionals and won 2 games, that we'd be in good shape. So we went into that game. And the players, to their credit, wanted to win that championship. They didn't want to settle for an at-large bid. They wanted that automatic bid. They were determined to win that championship. And then you run Shea out there. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of pressure. You could just feel it. You could cut it with a knife, and he goes out there and he's got his fastball. He's 93 to 95 with his fastball, and they're not catching it. They're not catching up to it. And we're going, oh boy, we can get us some outs. And we can get into the second half of the game, and then we got a chance. And that's not always the case with a pitcher. You can tell pretty early if the pitcher's got his stuff that day, and Shea had it. And then when he got into the dugout, and I would tell him, hey, I need 3 more outs, you could just tell in his eyes that he was going to be able to do it. So we don't have a chance in that game without him. And that the early part of that game, everybody talks about the back end of the game. To me, the start of those games are hugely important. And same thing with these regionals coming up here tomorrow against KU. It'll likely not be the end of the game. It'll be the front part of that game that determines a lot of what happens.
Coach, so I got to ask you, because you're talking to Went as he's coming back in the dugout, and I'll be I'll give you a little more behind the curtains with what was going on with that chat than DB did. I don't think he wanted to throw me under the bus, but I'm sitting there and I go, okay, he started to struggle a little bit in the third inning. Seemed like the control was getting away from him a little bit. And I go, ooh, if he can get through this, probably got to feel really good about pulling him after the inning and then, going to the bullpen. He comes out for the fourth. What was the decision-making process talking to Shea as he comes back into the dugout and you say, hey, let's go run you back out for to start another inning, and how much of it had to do with the fact that you were able to get a couple runs across to feel like maybe you had some cushion there?
Yeah, the runs helped. But, I look at the stuff of the pitcher, and his stuff didn't deteriorate at all.
Yeah.
He was into the 60s and climbing to 70, and that we thought if we could get him into the 70s, that would probably be it.
Mm-hmm.
But his stuff was still there. His fastball was still there. His location had disappeared a little bit, but his stuff was there. So it just came down to, maybe making some slight adjustments. But when Shea came in the dugout, all we were asking at that point going into the fourth inning is, hey, how about another out or two? Because I'm counting outs at that point. I'm thinking, okay, we got 18 outs. Who do we have available? We got Garrett on the back end. We know we can get 6 out of Garrett if we need to. And then, okay, who's going to go between? Is it going to be a Matt Ackerman? Is it going to be, and so we're sitting there counting outs and then looking at pitchers who are available and then looking at the matchup too. Looking at Connecticut with our own eyes instead of on video, you can see how they're swinging that particular day and which one of our pitchers matches up better against those hitters. So that was all going on. In the meantime, we're just trying to milk another out or two out of Shea. And he got up to 73 pitches, which is great. He's feeling good now. He'll be involved obviously this weekend. But, again, I can't say enough about him. His poise and composure in a really situation that he's probably never been in before. And how he handled it was impressive.
How about North? I'm going to save my favorite for last because I'm an unabashed Nolan Sailors guy, just haven't played with and against his dad for so long, but I'll save him for last. But how about North kind of getting it going this last third of the season? It seemed like it kind of started with the Nebraska game. And I mean, he's just kind of been on a tear, one of those guys, just a junior that, I mean, playing his best baseball, especially offensively at the end of the season.
Well, he's got over 50. He's got, I think, 55 RBIs. And you start getting into the 50 range, that says a lot, for a college player. And, a lot of folks.
That's right on the number, too, Coach. It's almost like you know stats.
Yeah. And I don't have them sitting in front of me either. So, but a lot of folks don't factor in that Ben made a switch from third to short. And, if you're a casual fan, you say, well, what's the big deal? It's an infield position. Those infielders should be able to play every position. And, part of that's probably accurate, but there's a lot more on the page of a shortstop versus a third baseman as far as your responsibilities on the field. And for him to take that on willingly, he didn't ever question the fact that when we moved him from third to short this fall, and then for it not to affect his offense. A lot of times when you make positional changes, it affects the offense of the player. And that's the last thing you wanted to do with Ben, because I think his best days are still ahead of him. I think he's got a bright future. He can play a lot of baseball.
He's got a great frame.
Yeah, he does. He's very powerful. And anybody who's ever seen him play is impressed with his arm strength. I mean, we haven't had too many guys that throw a ball across the infield like he does. But I give him a lot of credit for making a positional change and not having it affect his offense. And then that maturity level that you see in these young players, it just brings a smile to my face. Because I saw Ben as a freshman, kind of wobbly out there a little bit, good days, bad days, good days, bad days. And now you see a consistent, mature, poised athlete who knows that, hey, I got to contribute in order for us to have a chance to win today. And he's taking that on. So, you can't win with some of these. We've had just tremendous output from these upperclassmen. And I'm glad you recognize Ben, because he kind of falls under the radar a little bit because of the season Nolan's had and the season Connor Capizzi's had. Sometimes people forget about Ben, but I certainly don't. I appreciate him each and every day.
It's not often you see a guy he's got he slugs over 550. He's only been caught stealing 3 times, and he's flirted with 400 again. I mean, when you've seen so many good hitters, Coach, what is it about Nolan's approach at the plate that you think allows him to function at such a high level as a hitter?
Well, Nolan has tremendous bat speed. He's a very twitchy athlete. We don't see enough twitchy athletes playing baseball. They appear to drift into other sports, you know. So Nolan is unique that way in that he is very twitchy. I love it when he hits a ball in the gap to watch him run. It's one of the coolest things when he tries to run an extra base hit into a triple. I mean, it's really impressive. And I made a couple mistakes coaching third this year where I probably should have sent him because his speed has even caught me off guard. So I'm just impressed with his athleticism. He's worked hard to build his body up.
He was much bigger. I was watching those interviews early in the preseason. I told his dad, I was like, well, the strength and conditioning has treated Nolan well. He looked good, like a big, strong kid.
Yes, he does, and he deserves all the credit. I mean, he spends a lot of time in the weight room. He spends a lot of time in the off season, building himself up, taking care of himself, eating right. And then the next thing that, Nolan needed to make a jump with, and he's done a pretty good job this year, but he will continue to get better at it the more he plays, is controlling the strike zone.
Yeah.
The reason why some of these guys hit well and some of them don't is they swing at pitches that aren't strikes. You can make this hitting stuff as complicated as you choose. I choose not to. It comes down to getting a good pitch to hit. And somebody says, well, that's not easy either. No, it's not. But I think that's why Nolan has taken another jump offensively is he's controlling the strike zone much better than he did when he was a younger player. And when he gets a good pitch to hit, it's hard to get him out.
Yeah.
And then he's also incorporated the bunt game into his game, which I encouraged him to do because he's such a good runner. And he's gotten several bunt base hits this year, which sometimes when you're not seeing the ball particularly well on a certain day, it's a good thing to have in your back pocket.
Coach, I'll get you out on this. We're going to talk to Kansas play-by-play guy tomorrow and kind of get a preview and to cap the series. When you look at what they've been able to do in the Big 12 conference and kind of the seed you drew, what is it that interests you and kind of a plan, maybe not a plan of attack, but what you have to neutralize with this Jayhawks bunch?
Well, we got to slow them down offensively.
Yeah.
This is a very, very offensive club. And they've got well over 200 extra base hits. They got 100 home runs. Now, they do play in an offensive ballpark, and so that can be skewed a little bit. But we know we're going to have to keep the ball in the ballpark, and we're going to have to pitch with good height. We can't make a lot of mistakes in the upper part of the zone. And then we got to eliminate the free opportunities, too, because when you run against a good offensive team, they're going to get a run or two or more.
Yeah.
You just can't pile on. And I've told our team the last 2 days, we have to avoid the big inning being 3 runs or more. If they get a run here, a run there, we can trust our offense that we can hang with them. But if we start putting up those crooked numbers, it's going to be a tough day for us. So we have a pretty good plan in place. We'll see if we can execute it. But this is going to be one of the better offensive teams we've seen all season, and that's what they hang their hat on. I mean, they're an offensive club, and they're an older veteran team. I mean, every guy's a senior. I think they start one junior. The rest of them are seniors and grad guys. So it's an old team that knows how to play, that was tested in the Big 12. So, but we're looking forward to it. This is a great atmosphere down here at Fayetteville. They know how to host a regional. Our guys are so excited to have the opportunity to prove on this stage what kind of club we are.
It's an easy, fast drive, too, Coach. Just did it last summer, man. I'm hoping fans will be in attendance, and best wishes to you.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck.
Thanks.
That's Ed Servais, head coach, Creighton baseball.
Good dude.
Good dude. Good interview.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Nebraska got North going. He ain't been the same since.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because he was on a little bit of a slide coming into that one.
Yeah.
He ripped off like 2 or 3, and he has not looked back.
Yeah.
And you put him up there with Capisi and Sailors. I think Sailors has 27 bags.
Let's see, 27 for 30.
He's just,
yeah.
I don't know.
I know our mutual friend Alex Sindelar would be happy to hear about the bunts that he was talking about with Sailors.
So it was funny too, because I don't know if Glenn tweeted it. This was preseason.
Yeah.
And of course I'm watching interviews.
Of course, why not?
and Nolan is talking, and I can see Glenn in the background, and And I see Glenn a fair amount anyway, so I kind of know his size. I know Nolan from last year, and I'm like,
just look big.
He looks yoked.
Yeah.
I text his dad. I'm like, hey man, this dude been in the weight room.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic.
Some of those baseball players too, like when they're wearing their uniform, you don't really appreciate how strong they are.
Yeah.
And
I like the fact he was talking about his running stuff because he is athletic. He's a multi-sport guy.
The twitchiness is true because I was watching. That's one of the reasons I like the cruises in Major League.
Yeah.
Ellie De La and O'Neill, right?
Did you like how I made fun of you in the chat?
Yeah. It's fine.
It's like 122. Ravi's giddy.
At 122.9, I got to fan myself. I was like, woo. That's the random reason I like Stanton is because that dude just hits rockets.
And he's built like he should be posing.
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to
play
the Rock in a movie. But
that had to have eaten away at his body. That dude never plays baseball.
I know.
Right?
He does not play a lot, which is one of the reasons my affinity for him has waned over the years. But like I do appreciate, like it does look different on a baseball field when you've got super twitchy guys out there. And you're just like, oh man, like that looks different. Some of those guys, even like a guy I consider a really good athlete, doesn't jump off as incredibly twitchy as like Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
He's more smooth than twitchy.
He's a
great athlete. Like I've seen him like do crazy dunks on a basketball court. Like that's a really good athlete.
You just need to know right field, center field, shortstop.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yes. And I go, that's a really good athlete, but he doesn't look the way some of the super hyper twitchy guys does, right? And it does look just different.
And it's a lot of it is how he wears his clothes too.
Yeah, get the bagginess and
it's like the high socks and
he's got the kind of old school baseball vibe going for him.
Hey, by the way, you said you went and saw Cags last night.
I did, yeah.
There's an article. I think
he hit some hard balls.
I think there's a couple articles up on the 4-letter website.
Yeah.
On why top minors aren't in the majors yet. I think it'd be a good read for you.
Yeah, so I was actually I didn't read those, but I was looking at stuff about Roman Anthony the other day, and it's about you lose a year of control if they win Rookie of the Year.
That's all it is.
I know, and
it's about control.
And it's dumb.
I joked about that a couple of weeks ago, and you're like, yeah, get my guys up there.
100%. Yes, because here's the thing. I get it with Kansas City, right? You're a small market team. Your budget's a little more limited on what you're going to be able to do. The Red Sox print money. They own the Red Sox. I don't know if you know this. They own Liverpool, who just won the Premier League, so they're not hurting for money either. Yeah. They're in the racing game, which has treated them well also. And I believe there's a hockey team, but I can't remember which one. So I'm not feeling like, don't cry poverty to me, Red Sox. Like, get my guy up here. You're bad at baseball right now. Figure it out.
Again, just 5 in a row. You're going to be all right.
No, they're under 500. They're like 7.5 back of the Yankees.
It was just 5 a couple days ago.
Yeah,
it's not plummeting.
It is plummeting quickly.
It doesn't appear anybody. I mean, now the Yankees have, I think they're just the opposite. I think they've won 5 in a row. Yeah, but nobody appears to want to do anything in that division.
It doesn't matter because if they're not catching the Yankees.
The Yankees pitching is not going to hold up.
They're not going to catch the Yankees.
Even though they have won 9 out of, is it 9 out of 11 or 9 out of 10?
It's 8 of the last 10, I think.
I think it's 9 out of 10.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
It might have been 8 out of 10 yesterday. I don't remember when I looked. But they're not catching the Yankees. That's not happening. So it doesn't matter what happens in the division.
You trust the Yankees pitching?
I trust it more than I trust anything Boston's doing.
What would you do if you're Baltimore?
Dude,
Can
they're
you believe
in trouble.
I know.
And they're kind of one of those teams that's not like, I don't know what you do because you've got some young guys people like, but you can't really afford to like, what do? You can't reset again. You had one playoff appearance with this group.
You know, and the funny thing about it is outside of this is staggering. Mm-hmm. Outside of the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Orioles have the fewest home wins.
Oof. Are they the second worst record in baseball?
They're tied with the Athletics for wins at home.
Yeah, the Athletics are actually pretty good outside of. I mean,
I told you I like the roster.
They're on a little slide, I think, right now. But
yeah, they've lost 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's not great. But before that, they were like kind of in.
I get it. I
and
get it.
They're much better than I think we anticipated.
But the Baltimore can't win at home.
Yeah, that's bad. It makes sense why Oakland can't win at home because they don't really have a home. It doesn't make sense why Baltimore can't win at home.
Although they have been decimated by injuries.
Have you ever been out to Camden?
Yes.
It's a nice ballpark.
Yes.
It's really fun.
it wasn't even all the way kind of. Yeah, short answer is yes.
Yeah.
Done. It was just being finished.
Oh, yeah. So I was there.
Kind of like when I saw the Raiders stadium. We saw the shell and the outside because we were.
Oh,
in
they're
Vegas.
working on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were almost done.
Was that Death Star?
Caleb was playing it. It did look like that, actually. We saw the finishing touches in Chicago Stadium.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, their renovations.
Nice.
We were in Chicago. Yeah, basketball was like.
Took you all over the place.
Yeah,
That's why you were in Fayetteville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Made a couple trips down there?
Went to this little rundown bar where there wasn't water in the pool.
Oof.
It was a motel. Like you could enter from the outside.
Yeah, that's a pass for me.
So Brett and I, we originally went in there because there was a sign written in marker that they had breakfast buffet.
Oh, my God.
So I just wanted to see a big breakfast day. But
Yep.
we didn't go for breakfast. I was like, we need to go back by that place that had the
No, you don't. You
the
don't
writing
need to go
on
back.
the wall. It was incredible.
Incredible good, incredible bad.
It was just.
And that was a hotel?
Motel.
Can you
that had a bar? We sat outside.
Can you go into a hotel and just order a breakfast?
Like they got to eat.
We're out here, right?
I was going to quote.
Don't matter to me.
Society. Blank got to eat too. And it was just a free for all. Is people in there smoking at the bar?
There's one of my probably one of my.
But they had an amazing, immaculate bathroom. I'll never forget their bathroom.
Least compromisable rules in my life is I will not stay in a hotel where the door opens to the outside.
It's a motel.
That is a absolutely never ever.
We were driving.
There's
somewhere
a better chance I
and
would sleep in my car.
And Zoe, where were we going? Maybe to West Side. It was me and Ryder. I was talking about motels, and she's like, "What's the difference between a hotel and a motel?" And there's the
one
little
charged by the
ran-down
hour
one on 108th and Dale. And I said, "See those, Zoe?" I said, "See how the doors on the outside?" And she said, "Oh, you mean the ones that don't look very nice?" Well, kind of.
I mean,
kind of.
If
you're not entirely wrong.
If the stained sheets fit.
Wow.
The
wow.
That's one of the strictest rules in my entire life is absolutely no doors opening to the outside of my accommodations.
It's kind of scary.
That's not happening.
No, I get it.
I
don't even like staying in hotels where you can't see the door.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen those setups?
Yeah.
A lot of them. What are the new ones that are built vertically? They're in Kansas. There's a lot of them in Kansas City. They're built.
Oh, the high-rise ones?
Yeah, they're but the fudge.
I don't know what you're looking for here.
It's an extension of the Marriott.
Oh, the courtyards?
Yeah, and the bathrooms slide and they have the clear opaque kind of see-through bathroom doors.
Mm-hmm.
They're built up.
Yeah.
Like you can't see those doors.
Really?
No.
I don't think I've been in one of those.
They have a terrible bathroom setup because it's right in front of the beds.
Oh.
So anytime somebody gets up to go shower and you don't want
It
everybody
turns the
to
lights
get,
on. Yeah, you got to have them off to the side.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
so
I've learned through all this travel.
Absolutely.
I know what I'm
I've
looking
got
for.
very specific things I'm looking for in a hotel. But so I was back when
free breakfast. You seem like a big free breakfast guy.
There's things that are way more important to me than free breakfast.
I'll take it.
I'm being sarcastic because they're seldom good and they don't usually have good meat.
There is one establishment. There's one right over here that has really good free breakfast. That's about the only one that I care about.
Patties, links, strips.
The whole thing. They got whatever you want.
Really?
Right down here? You ever been in there for breakfast?
I've been in there for a couple of conferences.
Phenomenal.
Maybe that's why they get all the business.
Probably. They're at least it's been a few years, but it's like a thing that they're known for. It's incredible. But I don't
know much about local hotels, obviously.
Yeah.
I have no reason to.
Well, I have people in town sometimes, but so I was hosting when I was doing a show with.
Want to get a hotel?
Yeah, why not? Let's go. Let's hang out.
So
what do they call those?
Staycations. I'll do that. There's a couple places around town I've done that at.
That's cute.
Oh, yeah,
You don't have kids. Knock it out.
You like go to the pool, have fun.
So when Johnny the Pig says Ravi's a big 3,000 count sheet guy, what does that mean?
Stitch. It's bougie. The more stitch counts you have, the more quality of
like
the linens you're buying.
The linens, and it's
He's very he's quick like that.
Yeah, he's a hater, but it's fine. No, so back in
he's just playing.
I know, but he's one of those people. It's like I don't have enough interactions with him in person.
Yeah, to know that he's
know him as like the one interaction I have
He
with him.
brought you fire bacon.
Yeah, like so I've had I think 2 interactions with him in person.
That should be enough for a little grace.
And he's great in person, but like 90% of my interactions with him are him being a hater online. So what am I supposed to do there?
Are you a big stitch count guy?
I mean, I like it.
That's something my mom would know.
I like a nice
by
stitch
the
count.
way. And she taught me, so.
Natasha's more on the stitch counts than I am.
Yeah.
Like I'll go by feel, but I don't know like the numbers. But so I was
It's actually
in
kind of funny.
2021. When I was doing a show with Happer. See, he went down to Fayetteville when Nebraska was down there, and he stayed in one of these like seedy motels.
There's several,
and he's
in Fayetteville.
I would imagine it's Arkansas, but no offense, Skymex.
Brett and
but,
I ate at a diner.
Oh no!
If there were, it's just the 2 guys. Like we're fortunate.
I was genuinely
the
concerned.
Food was immaculate though.
That's all you care about. So he's doing the show from the hotel room, and I was like, "Hey, like if you get murdered during the show, I'm out. Like I'm leaving. Like I'm not gonna finish the show." That's where we were at, and that's how I feel.
It is
about
an easy, quick drive.
It is.
You shoot right down there.
I don't know how easy and quick of a stay it is at some of those motels, but Godspeed to our guy Matty DeMarinis as he makes his way down.
Oh yeah, I need to get at him.
Hopefully he finds a better motel than Happer did.
He's not staying at a motel.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the per diem is for him.
A lot. He's the best they got.
He's the best most people got, but no,
pay him what he wants.
Still don't know what the per diem is.
Pay the man his money.
Big John Malkovich guy. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow, and maybe, hopefully, we'll get the Big 12 quarterback rankings.
Got to knock that out. And we're busy tomorrow.
I know. We might have to get in the first hour. I was trying to today, but surprise, surprise, it got away from us.
Weird.
That's all right. We got a long off season. We got time.
Yeah.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.